Welcome to the revolution. Tonight we're with EJ and Bree because Pete is a leprechaun and he's probably hungover and you know we'll just blame it on him that his leprechauniness. So no music, no intros tonight. I gotta get this.
Interesting.
I gotta get this crap all together. But anyway, so we are on and we are live. And what's up, Bree?
Not too much. Not too much. Let me see. What do you think Pete's personality type is? You're a ENTP. I'm an INTP.
I would say he is. Now, just to let people know, we're going off of the Myers Briggs personality type indicator when you're talking about ENTPs, INTPs. It's actually quite accurate. It basically kind of groups people into like what is it, 16 different personality types, and so it is actually quite funny. I My type ENTP tends to be the most argumentative.
Go
Surprise,
figure.
surprise. And that's extrovert, intuitive, thinking, and perceiver. And the last one is kind of confusing because they list it as judger or perceiver. Judger does not mean like you're like judgmental. It just means really that you kind of follow rules. You're punctual, that kind of stuff. If you're a judger, and if you're a perceiver, just the opposite. You don't follow rules. You kind of do what you want. You're usually never on time. That certainly is me. Um, yours is similar, but you don't argue as much.
No, only with myself.
Only with yourself. Pete, I would say Pete is probably. I would say if he was to take that, he would also be an ENTP. I would assume.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Or an ENTJ, maybe.
I think Pete's more of an ENTP. I mean,
Well, let's get him to take the test, and I'll bet you something. We'll have a little bet.
okay, you want to bet? You think he's an ENTJ?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, Pete is. If there's anybody that's more argumentative than me, it's that ornery leprechaun that we know of as Pete. Um, Also, uh, he's not. When it's come down to, I know that he's punctual at work, that kind of stuff, but he's, like when it's come to shows, like I'm I'm more anal than he is. Like, when we were like
Are
trying to.
you?
Oh yeah, when we were trying to set up static air and everything like that, he was kind of like, whatever,
Oh, he's
let's
more
just.
laid back, huh?
Yeah, he was like, let's just
Maybe he's a
get.
feeler.
He could be a feeler. He could be like a little pansy. Um, I'd go with that. Pizza pansy. Uh, Now I would say
That
ENTP.
a
So
new type?
what's the bet?
Oh God. What can we bet?
I don't
I'm
know.
poor, so I can't bet money.
Can't bet money.
I don't know. Body parts? I don't know. Mm,
What are you talking about? Like
I have no
donating to
idea.
science?
Are you a scientist?
Oh, I can be one if I want to be.
uh, that's role playing.
So let me see. Here we go. I'm just kind of looking at things. By the way, have I ever mentioned that I totally hate PCs with a passion?
That you hate what?
PCs.
No, you haven't.
Oh
No, you
man,
might have actually.
I hate them so much. I detest them. I had to pay $25 to like malware bites because I keep. I'm not. It's not even like I'm going to porn or anything like that. Which is where you get most of your stuff. I mean, I get pop-ups. I've got block up pop-ups blocked on Chrome, which I've been using. That doesn't work. I hate PCs so much. Macs are so much better.
We should protest.
We should, and I'm sure
We need a
Microsoft
cause.
would Microsoft would listen. I mean,
Yeah.
forget about chemtrails. Forget about
So, but
that's.
we could meet up and go on this protest together
Oh, there we
for
go.
humanity. I mean,
Two people
surely
versus
our spouses wouldn't mind if it was for a good cause.
two people fighting Microsoft for the good of humanity. Wait a second. I know me, and I know you being going back to what you were saying, being an INTP, the I standing for introvert. You don't give a rat's ass about humanity, and nor do
I do.
I.
No, Albert Einstein's an INTP, and he hated humans but loved humanity. So I beg to fucking differ.
Okay. Well,
I like humanity as a whole. Individual people, for the most part, not so much.
I don't like humanity. In fact, I am writing. I actually wrote a short story. I just got back into like writing creatively for the first time since really high school. Um,
Wow.
and so I wrote a short story this past week. It would have taken less time, but I was sick last week and all sorts of stuff. I'm getting.
Good afternoon.
Oh, Janet yelling. I don't want to have you interrupt. And that's another thing, PCs. They just want to play things automatically. All of a sudden, I open a web page and it had Janet yelling, that beast.
You gotta
The.
stay off of RedTube. You won't get all these issues. Right?
I don't go on RedTube, not on my PC.
No. On your phone?
Well, phone, Mac. Yeah, I can. Oh, I'm not denying that I peruse RedTube.
I've been known to cruise it as well.
I'm sure you have.
For
Research?
yes, research.
Research.
Exactly.
Every once in a while, I'll go to my wife and I'll be like, so I was watching a porn and I came up with a new position. And,
So
you know,
research for you too.
yeah, it's research. That's what it is, research, yeah.
Huh.
Um, and actually, I did this, I don't know, about a week or so ago. And, and I was watching something. I was like, so I saw this new position. So, like, with clothes on, I mean, not that I would be, like, upset if clothes were off, but with clothes on, I tried to show my wife what said position was, which would be, like, her, like, lying on her stomach and me, like, kind of squatting down, kind of, like, trying to, plow her, like, kind of, like dipping down.
Praying mantis from behind.
I don't know what the hell it was. But, and I
What?
did it, and then my ankles, like, started hurting.
Oh.
And I was like, this
You're
just
over
isn't going
40
to work.
now. Well,
I
you
am
can't do
over
all
40.
these fancy schmancy positions.
In fact, I turned
How old do you
43.
think you are?
I
Oh,
turned
are you?
I
Okay.
turned 43 yesterday.
That's right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
You're a Pisces.
I am a Pisces.
You're
Not,
a Pisces ENTP, and I'm actually a Pisces INTP.
when is your birthday?
February 19th. I'm just on the cusp of
Oh,
Aquarius and
yeah.
Pisces,
Yeah.
but it says I'm a Pisces. But,
Yeah,
And,
so you're
I'm
kind
a
of.
cooler Pisces because have some Aquarius stuff going on.
You know what? My brother's an Aquarius, and he's kind of a dork. So, I mean, I love him, but he's a dork.
I'm a
Okay.
dork.
Well, you are a dork, kind of, so.
I know I am. I am a total dork, but I'm a fun dork.
I was calling my wife a nerd yesterday, so.
Nerds are sexy. I've seen your wife. You have a hot wife.
I know I have a hot wife.
You really do.
Of course I should have a hot wife. Do you believe I would have an ugly wife?
No.
In fact,
I'm
I've
just
tried actually.
complimenting her.
What's that?
I'm just giving her a compliment. And
Ah.
you for having good taste, I suppose. But
Well, one thing, because most women are a little lower on the self-esteem pole, and she has said at times she's been like, oh, I don't think I'm not ugly, but I'm not really attractive. And I'm like, look, I'm like, if there's one thing that you can be sure of is that I am pretty friggin' vain, and I would not have an ugly wife. It just wouldn't happen. And
Yeah,
I,
but you have women who like are beautiful. Your wife has like an exotic, like beautiful look. Like, you're not comparing her to. Sometimes you'll get these girls when they're younger that are cutesy looking and this and that, but then they get older and they don't age well or it doesn't work for them anymore. So you have cute or even pretty, and then you have somebody who has like, like a classic beauty. And I'd say your wife falls into the classic sort of beauty sort of category.
oh, okay. I don't. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get into. I don't get into like classic beauty or new age beauty. I just get into. Uh, is it something I would enjoy to plow? That's what I tend to focus on.
People plow fields, EJ. That doesn't tell me much.
Well,
I
if you listen to the Lonely Island's "I Just Had Sex" song, they talk about how they would plow anything, including a pile of manure. So,
Oh, wow. Wow. Right. What does plowing entail actually? What happens to a person when they're being plowed?
you don't know what happens when you have never been.
I've had sex, but I don't know if I've been actually plowed.
You
I
have
didn't know if
not.
that was like a step up or some different sort of
Okay,
moves involved
okay.
with that.
Have you ever been with your husband and he's just well plowed you, just nailed you so hard to where like
Ramming it home,
yeah, ramming it home, and you're just like sitting there like the next day you're like
gasping for air. Yeah.
yeah, and like the next day you're kind of having a hard time to walking. When you sit down, you're kind of like
A little swollen and red and sore a little bit.
You've had that
Probably.
probably.
Sounds familiar. I
Sounds
don't know.
familiar. I was gonna say if it's something you have to go far back in your memory banks for, you guys need to take like a sex vacation or something. But
For me, no
that, my
comment.
dear, would be plowing.
Plowing. Nothing to do with gardening or sowing seeds
Unless you're getting plowed
or
in the garden.
okay, well that's true.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But there's no farm animals involved.
Uh,
Anything.
you are in
Well, plowing, I
Tennessee.
usually think of like a donkey or something pulling a big plow in the field. So, but there's
Well, you are
that's
from
probably in Mexico with the donkey show. That's a whole other topic. Anyhow,
oh
I'm
boy,
sleep deprived. I get very
you're
dark and
you're a little
perverted when
what?
I'm tired.
Oh, you're
Oh,
perverted when
sleep
you're tired.
deprived. Yeah, yeah, comes out. I have no filter. I, anyhow, so what have you been up to?
Well, let me see. Last week we couldn't do the show because I was sick, which is I always get sick with the change of the weather. In the fall I get sick, in the spring I get sick. I also seem to have a propensity to get sick whenever my best friend is going to come to visit. Well, the weather was
Mm-hmm.
changing, and
Oh,
my best friend was coming up this weekend for my birthday, even though it was early, but he was coming up for my birthday. So, of course, Monday I started coughing, 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 and I didn't really think much of it. So I didn't start taking anything because usually I take that airborne and I take Zycam. And
yeah.
usually, but I take it like as soon as I'm kind of like, I cough a little bit more than normal, boom, I take it. Um, for some reason, I didn't think about it. I didn't take it, and this cold lasted. I didn't start feeling better until Sunday, which is when my best friend left. So that kind of sucked. I kind of felt sick all weekend. Like he got up Friday, and as soon as he gets here, he's like, "All right, you got a beer?" So now normally I would have joined him, and we probably would have been drunk by 8 o'clock, but I didn't feel well. I didn't have a drink all night because I didn't feel well, and he just kind of hung out and drank, and we hung out and talked. But The next night, I wound up drinking. The funny thing is, the next night, Saturday, I did wind up drinking. And my wife went to bed. My friend went to bed. Different beds. We're not, swingers. Um, not as of yet. I mean, who knows what the
Yeah.
future holds, but,
Never say never.
but, um, but, so then I was just like, screw it, I'm getting drunk. So I just did a couple shots, drank another beer, got drunk, and then said, okay, I'm going to bed. And I just went to sleep. But then I started feeling better the next day.
That's good. Maybe the alcohol killed the virus.
Maybe now in college, I was very sick. Had a really nasty flu, and whenever I get sick, I usually get really sick. And I I was I was really sick, and my next door neighbor, uh, he was a fraternity guy, and he said, well, think about it. When you want to kill, like, you want to kill bacteria, you want to kill viruses and stuff, what do you, like, rub on your skin? You rub
Alcohol.
alcohol on it. And he said, so what you need to do is you need to get a lot of alcohol in your system, and that'll kill everything. And I was already feverish, so this made sense. So I had him go out and buy a bunch of malt liquor, because that's what I used to drink when I was, like, younger, because it was cheap and it got you drunk
Cheap.
fast. Yeah, and I have to say I do understand why
Colt
many.
44s.
It wasn't Colt 44. I used to drink St. Ides or Crazy Horse or Mickey's. Those were the three malt liquors I would drink.
Okay.
Um, now, and I've always said this since then, I said I now understand why black neighborhoods tend to be more violent, which is a topic we can get into, which would be interesting. Um, because let's face it, black guys like to drink malt liquor. I mean, they rap about it, all sorts of stuff. So I mean,
Yeah. It's a
you
very
know,
popular
this,
beverage in certain areas.
this is not a stereotype. So if somebody's going to say, "Well, that's just racist," I'll be like, "Okay, I'm just going
Well,
off the source."
that's what they tend to sell in those neighborhoods, and it's also typically very inexpensive.
It's inexpensive, gets you drunk quicker. So that's what I would drink because I was in college. I didn't have a lot of money, and I like getting drunk. Um, and I used to get in fights constantly. I mean, it was just all the time. I mean, at least a fight once a week. I'd go to a party, get in a fight. It was, but it was fun. I'm not gonna say I didn't have a good time. Didn't win all my fights. Won most of them, but didn't win all of them. But I still had a good time, even if I lost. I mean, I remember one time going to going to the ER with a big cut on my nose, on the bridge of my nose, and I'm holding my nose and I'm blowing air out, and I'm blowing all these bloody bubbles out of the top of my nose, and I'm just laughing. That was a result of a
Yeah,
fight I
well, that's
did not
fun.
win. So, but it was good times had by all. Um,
I'm not going to fight you. I mean,
I have to say though, in my defense, because I was it was with a neighbor, and he was a big strong boy, and I wasn't even actually initially getting in a fight with him. I was getting in a fight with his roommate, and he stepped in, and I had been up for 2 or 3 days straight, and I was drunk, so I wasn't in my right mind. So I was like, all right. So I threw a kick at him. He caught it and threw me down a flight of stairs. Then he jumped down
ouch.
and he started punching me. And I don't really remember any of this.
I
This
hope
is
you were
just,
drunk when you fell down. You were, right?
oh yeah, I was totally
Yeah.
hammered.
Well,
I was totally
that
hammered.
probably helped you from getting, you
Like
know,
really hurt? Yeah,
yeah,
probably. Um, but
so they
I,
say.
I don't remember. This is what I hear from other people. You know. So then he got on me and he's trying to knock me out and he's punching me, punching me, punching me. I'm not even like really defending myself. I'm laughing at him as he's punching me in the face. And the more he punched me in the face, the more I laughed at him. It was like in Fight Club when Tyler Durden just starts getting hit by that mob boss
A
guy.
great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just laughing. That's what people are like. That movie hadn't come out yet, but that's how it was described to me as. And I just kept laughing. And then he got he got done, figured I was done. And I just started crawling up the stairs after him. And then somebody just grabbed me and said, "All right, enough," or something like that. So I talked to him, like 2 days later, or the next day or something. I went over to his apartment, had the stitches in my nose and stuff, and he answered it. He was a nice guy, He answered the door, and he just looks at me. He's like, "Oh," I'm just like, "Dude," I'm like, "So what exactly happened last night?" So we just kind of hung out, talked, and he was like, "Dude," he was like, "I really didn't want to do it." He was like, "But you wouldn't stop." He was like, "Then when I'm punching you, you're laughing." He said, "I was trying as hard as I could to knock you out, just to end it. And you didn't get knocked out, and you just kept laughing." And he was like, "And I was actually getting scared because you didn't get knocked out. You were bleeding in your face, and you're laughing. The more I hit you, the more you were laughing at me." And he
That
was
is
like,
funny.
he was like, "Dude, you weren't even doing anything. You were just sitting there, just laughing at me as I punch you in the face." And he was like, and I
Well, you're
got,
the ones people have to worry about, because that's scary.
yeah, I guess so. So, but so that fight I definitely lost, but I mean, I wasn't necessarily in my right mind, but anyway, good times, good times. So,
Well, I mean, if someone's doing that when you're beating the shit out of them and they're just laughing, you're going to sit there at some point and go, okay, this guy's got something up his sleeve. He's going to go fucking ballistic at me any fucking second. And
oh yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I would have the same reaction. I would be like, "Oh crap, I gotta knock this guy out." I gotta
yeah.
do something because if he gets a hold of me, you know,
He's
he may
going to
not.
kill me.
Yeah, he may not stop. I don't know what I would do. I mean, I don't remember any of it. It was right after finals.
Inebriated.
So
Oh, so you had something to celebrate.
yeah, I had not slept. You know, I was the great procrastinator, and I would like put things off to the last minute, and then I would like stay up for days at a time, and I couldn't do it now. I mean, if I'm up for
Well,
24 hours
I don't
now,
know if ENTPs are sprinters, but INTPs are sprinters. They work in short bursts of energy,
oh,
and
yeah.
usually get more energy towards deadlines. Are definitely motivators.
ENTPs are worse than INTPs.
Yeah.
They're worse
Oh
because
God.
they're notorious for not getting things done till the last minute. And that certainly describes me. I mean,
I'm pretty last minute. Although all along I'm planning out the whole strategy and everything in my head, but I don't act on it till the last minute
oh
when
yeah,
all
yeah,
of a
yeah,
sudden
yeah.
comes together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally guilty of that. I'm guilty of coming up with all sorts of ideas and then not putting them together.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that all the time. I mean, that was kind of the break from the norm with static air. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually really was. I was, as Jeremy put it, I was a slave driver. I can't use Jeremy's name on the air. Sorry, Jeremy. I won't use your name on the air again, Jeremy. Anyway, um, as El Senor Douchebaggio used to say, I was a slave driver. I was always getting us to work. I was, so. Um, but I definitely I saw that as a good opportunity, which so did Google. Fuck. So anyway,
Yeah, you'll see it through once you have an idea and you can, it excites you. But a lot of things, same with me, just kind of bounce around my head. I mean,
so
it's
I have an interesting thing for you because I know how interested you are in personality types and stuff like that. Um, Binky Lane. I don't want Binky Lane. You crap thing. Anyway, um, my my best friend and I were talking this weekend, and we were talking about the Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. What the Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart is it basically it's it goes on. It's a personality type. Like whenever you make a character, you get to I guess choose whatever your character is, whether they're It's not just good,
The
neutral,
character
evil.
sheet.
Whatever your character is that you're going to be
Yeah.
playing with. And they have
Yeah.
like all sorts of different things. They've got just for neutral. I'm looking at this, or actually, here's what they have. They have lawfully good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. Now, my best friend was saying he thought I was chaotic good, which I wasn't really sure of. He thought he was more neutral.
Mm.
He thought he was more like lawfully neutral. And then, so my wife looked it up. She was like, I keep hearing you guys talk about this. So I'm going to look it up. So she actually took the test. And we all took the test just to see. And both my wife and I forget what they got. They got neutral good. That's what they got. They both got neutral good, I'm pretty sure. And I got chaotic neutral. Um, And here's what it says about chaotic neutral people. It says a chaotic neutral character follows his whims. He is an individualist first and last. He values his own liberty but doesn't strive to protect others' freedoms. He avoids authority, resents restrictions, and challenges traditions. A chaotic neutral character does not intentionally disrupt organizations as part of a can does not as part of a campaign of anarchy. To do so, he would have to be motivated either by good and a desire to liberate others, or evil with a desire to make those different from himself suffer. A chaotic neutral character may be unpredictable, but his behavior is not totally random. He is not as likely to jump off a bridge as to cross it. Chaotic neutral is the best alignment you can be because it represents true freedom from both society's restrictions and a do-gooder's zeal. Chaotic neutral can be a dangerous alignment when it seeks to eliminate all authority, harmony, and order in society. Above respect for life and good, or disregard for life and promotion of evil, the chaotic neutral places randomness and disorder. I don't know what that friggin' means. Good and evil are complementary balance arms. Neither are preferred, nor must either prevail, for ultimate chaos would then suffer. This view of the cosmos holds that absolute freedom is necessary, whether the individual exercising such freedom chooses to do good or evil is of no concern. After all, life itself is law and order, and so death is a desirable end. Therefore, life can only be justified as a tool by which order is combated, and in the end, it too will pass into entropy. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. So, but it really does kind of describe me.
That's interesting.
Let me see. Uh, well-known chaotic neutral characters from film or literature include Captain Jack Sparrow, which I've been compared to in other personality tests, Q of Star Trek, Peeves the Poltergeist from Harry Potter, and Conan the Barbarian. So, I'm surprised it didn't say Tyler Durden. That's the most common thing when I take any personality test. It always says fictitious,
Yeah.
characters. It's always Tyler Durden from Fight Club. I'm kind of bummed.
The professor, what is it? The one with the black hair, Alan Rickman. What is he? His name?
I
Professor Snape, is it or something? I don't know. I always get that one. I'm gonna take that test though.
Yeah, you should. It would be interesting. I don't know where you would fall. I have to. I don't know where you would fall. It is a little different than like Myers Briggs. Myers Briggs is because with this it goes on. Um, it goes on like morality and stuff like that. This is
Like
this
an
is more of a
ethical sort of.
yeah, it's more of a
Yeah.
moral kind of thing, but it's pretty accurate. I mean, it really is. I mean, I have to say, I mean, I've always said this. I mean, I've never been really the I'm not a geek. I mean, now granted, I did play Dungeons and Dragons. I think when I was a little kid. Well, I know I played it when I was a little kid for a while, but I was never like all really into it. But that was one of the things that I always remembered was because I had the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual or something like that, which it was like an illustrated encyclopedia of all these different monsters and stuff. In fact, they updated it with much better drawings and stuff. And one of these days,
Yeah,
I'd actually like to get it. It's just really cool. Um,
sounds
and
really cool.
they go over the whole alignment of in the Dungeons and Dragons world. And I always said it's actually really quite accurate. It's pretty impressive. So anywho, so that is
Well, how did you answer this question on here? How do you view lifelong commitment to a single romantic partner? I'm waiting to find such a romance. Such a romance would be ideal if it is achievable. I
that's what I put.
worry I okay. That's what I put.
Yeah, that's what I put.
That's what I just put. Hey, you insist on repay. Oh, here's a good one. This is really good for you, actually. You insist on repayment when lending money to friends. Hey, uh, we know who that could be pertaining to.
yeah, really.
Um,
You know,
oh,
we are going to be going back up to Pennsylvania in the next couple months. I never discussed travel arrangements on the air,
obviously.
but yeah, it's. Let me see. I'm just going to go ahead and repost this thing on Facebook. Um, but yeah, I totally plan on it. I totally plan on trying to get that and get my computer back. I don't ever think I'll see the money that he owes me, but it's I plan on getting my computer back. And if I can get my computer back, hey, I'll threaten law enforcement involvement. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But if I can get my computer back, I'm sure they're using my computer. They have been for
Well,
over
it's
a year
yours.
now. Yeah, and so if I get it back, um, I'm sure they'll contact me and be like, "Hey, man, we got work on there," and I'll be like, "That's cool. You can pay me to get your work back, or I'll just delete it. You have like 2 days to decide."
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I think that's a good approach.
Oh yeah. Well, he owes me money anyway. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Hey, anyhow. Oh, I'd be interested to see how you answered this one. Your community is threatened with invasion. Do you help defend it to your last breath? Man the barricades with the rest of the community, flee as soon as things look grim, or cut a deal with the invaders to act as a spy.
I think I said cut a deal.
Wow, I put flee.
I either
Why?
put
Why?
I either put flee or I put cut a deal because I
Yeah.
mean,
Why die?
yeah, yeah. Why die? I mean, there's no point in that. Why die? And I mean, it's not saying that I wouldn't take a stand. I mean, I certainly would take a stand, but
Yeah, but if it's not just you, we have children and things. I
yeah,
mean, you're gonna look after
and that's
yourself.
and that's one of the things that I consider in that. And it's just like I tell my children.
Yeah.
There's two reasons. I believe there are two reasons why you go ahead and you go to war. One is to fight against your government, because I've told my kids never join the United States military because then you're a pawn for the corporations and the rich. Um, One is to fight against your government, and the other one is as if you're invaded and you disagree with the invaders. You know, I mean, I try to make that very clear to them because sometimes, I mean, at this point right now, if we were invaded by, I don't know, a country that let's say there was a country that
Mexico.
no, let's say there was a country that was, um, I mean, this wouldn't happen, but let's say there was a country that was like more libertarian, more live and
Okay.
let live kind of country, and they had a beef with us. Let's say let's say our government started trying to push against them and started screwing with them. Okay,
Yeah.
which we could totally see as reasonable. Um, and try to use its influence. And they said, screw it. And they figured out a way to like knock out our electronic defenses. And they invaded us. But they were invading us because they were like, hey, look, you're coming after us. Because that is a libertarian principle. I mean, that people don't get. They have a non-aggression principle, but that just means don't mess with me. Because I will use force if you mess with me. Just I won't. I'm not going to initiate it like we did with Iraq. I'm not going to initiate the use of force, but if you come at me, you better be ready because I'm going to come and kill you. I'm going to destroy you. So you can't bother me again. So let's say a country did that. Let's say Libertopia land, invaded us. I would join sides with Libertopia land.
I want to live there. Sounds like a nice place.
Yeah, it
Mm.
does, doesn't it? But I wouldn't. I
Well,
mean, are you
healthy.
kidding me? I wouldn't join. I wouldn't join up and be like, "Rah, I'm going to fight for the imperialists," which is our government. I'm not going to fight for them. You
They,
know?
I would think it was like, that would happen internally with people creating their own government here more than another country somewhere else. I could actually see that being more of a civil war sort of
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
issue.
mean, I was just giving an example. I mean, I think that's
But
actually
I
if
like the name.
Libertopia land.
Yeah. I think,
Well, well, I didn't make up the Libertopia part. Actually, a woman, Christina Heller. She was a guest on our show as EJ when we were EJ and the Bear, and she actually did a film called Libertopia.
oh, I'll have to YouTube it.
Yeah, and it was all about the Free State Project up in New Hampshire. I actually met her up there in New Hampshire when I was up there. Um, but so anyway, it's yeah. If you're talking about having a like realistically, if that was going to happen, it would have to happen because there is there is no white knight that's going to come and help us. It's not like the French with the Germans in World War II, where they could hold out hope and say, well, the British might come or the Americans might come. They're still fighting the Germans, and they may come liberate us. There is no there is no white knight hope for us. We have been the white knight of the world, and now we're not. We are the dark knight, amongst other dark knights. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, Russia's better than us, or China would be better. No, we have dark knights. We have no white knight in this world anymore. There's just different dark knights with their own personal corporate agenda, and that's it. That's all we have. And so, so a better example would be, let's say China or Russia invaded us.
Okay.
I would work to subvert both systems because I know Russia's not going to be better than us. It's just a different form of us. You know, in fact, Russia, I would say, is actually less free than we are in some ways. I think they're probably, in some ways, a little more economically free, but socially, they're less free. You know,
Or do we
uh,
just give the pretense and the image and that we're free to pacify people?
well, yeah. Well,
Even though Russia, I
well,
mean,
here's the thing, though. But I mean, we just tell people you're free, and people go, yeah, land of the free, we're free. And no, we're not free. But you tell people, I mean, look, I forget which Nazi it was. It might have been Goebbels, who said this. Maybe it was Hitler. I don't remember. It was one of the big Nazis. They said, basically, to get people to believe a lie, you just got to make it a big lie and tell it to them over and over again, and they'll believe it. The bigger the
yeah,
lie, and they said the bigger the lie, the more absurd the lie, the more they tend to believe it.
that's true.
So
I believe that.
it's and I mean, yeah, think about it. I mean, we hear it all the time. you see Navy commercials, where it's got who Darth Vader, which come on, there's got to be some type of irony in this. Okay, it's either ironic or they're just doing it to throw it in our face. But they've got the guy, I forget the black guy that did the voice of Darth Vader. They have him doing these announcements for the U.S. Navy, talking about it's being a global force for good and all this kind of stuff. But it's talking about how we're all over the world. And it's basically saying, like, if you just read between the lines, it's saying, look, we're an empire, and we're just telling everybody it's for their own good and for our own good.
Yeah.
But it's Darth Vader's fucking voice. So
that's kind of screwed up. I haven't actually heard that announcement. Is it on?
Oh, you just look at it. Hell, you could look up Navy commercials like on YouTube. I'm sure they're there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's one of them is like, the United States Navy, a global force for good. Wow.
What if one of your sons came to you and wanted to join the armed forces? What would you say?
I'd say no. I would say don't.
Yeah.
I would say don't. And for the reason of, just as I said, because I don't want them to be used as a pawn for some rich asshole. That's
that would be my reasoning.
That's it's not that I think anybody that knows me knows that I'm not opposed to fighting. I mean, I've said it time and time again.
The armed forces. I mean, these are just enlisted guys who, like you said, get used by our, the powers that be.
Yeah, and I try to put myself back in. I try to put myself back in my shoes back when I was when I was 18 or 19, and I kind of say, well, they should know better. But yeah, I was an idiot when I was 18 or 19. I mean, put it this way: if they said, "Hey, look, we'll fly you around the world and you'll get to plow hot chicks," okay, sign me up. We'll teach you to shoot guns and plow hot chicks, and you'll have all sorts of power and stuff like that. I just said, sign me up. I mean, to be honest, I was really pretty much a fascist growing up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I believed in
rocker?
Well, I believed in I always believed in kind of personal freedom and stuff like that. That is something that I always believed in. But I also believed in, if you got out of line and you especially if you were to violate somebody else's rights or something, you kill them. I still kind of believe that, but I mean, I was like, oh, parking ticket, kill them. It was like, and one day I kind of sat back, and this didn't happen all that long ago, maybe a decade ago or so, maybe not even. And I kind of sat back and I thought, I really do believe in killing lots of people that just get out of line, that I don't agree with. Get rid of them. I really believe that for a long time, as I said, most of my life. And then I started thinking, I was like, but I don't agree with everybody. And what happens if somebody else who has the same ideology as me, like, agree with me or you should just die because I'm right? What if they get in power and I don't agree with them and they kill me? Because chances are I'm not going to be the one in power. So then I started thinking about, well, maybe it'd just be good to just live and let live.
Yeah.
And that really was what kind of turned it, because I started thinking, what if somebody that was like me got in power? It would suck if you didn't, if I didn't agree with them, because I'd be dead. So I changed my whole way of thinking about that. I was like, wait a second. Now I still do believe, if you go and if you violate somebody's rights, and it doesn't have to be a violent crime. A lot of libertarians and stuff say, oh, well, a lot of most libertarians will say they're against the death penalty. I am most certainly not. I am totally for the death penalty. Um, but when other libertarians say yes, I'm for the death penalty, it's usually in a punishment to an egregious violent crime that happened to somebody. Like I no, people that commit credit card fraud, identity theft. I despise these. I would kill them in a. I'll personally kill them. I would
I'm going to
personally kill them.
actually help you because guess what? We're actually going to have to probably get married. Guess what my D&D online alignment test came out of?
Chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Not a big surprise.
No, not really.
But that's
they have help.
but that's what I would do. I mean, I would kill people for committing those kind of crimes because if you go and you rob,
you know why? Because that means I'm gonna have to make endless fucking phone calls, go to the DMV. That's worth killing somebody over. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
They deserve the harshest punishment known to man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's horrible. It really is. I mean, I remember I was at court one time, and there was some girl there, and she was being, she was pleading guilty to credit card fraud, identity theft, that kind of stuff. And I just looked at, I really looked like, she was just some, average, semi-attractive white chick. And
that's important.
And, well, yeah, because everybody would, a lot of people would
think. You
think.
could punish her a different way, but.
Oh. Uh-huh. But, okay, let's be honest.
I'm on your side. I'm a chaotic neutral and opportunist.
So, but I literally looked at her and I was like, I could easily cut your throat. Just slit your throat. I could easily kill you.
I screw you.
You're such a piece of shit. Because I started thinking about the people that, and yeah. she had multiple counts. Yeah, she had multiple accounts. Now, these are all people that have, now these people are going to have to be fighting with their, with creditors and all that kind of stuff. It's not as simple as
it's
just.
It's a big mess to sort out.
It's a huge mess, yeah. So
lots of letters, lots of this,
yeah,
lots of Davids, yada yada yada.
Oh yeah, and your credit's screwed up, and and now you're gonna have to.
Yeah, but what if you're just about to make that home purchase or send your kids to college, or could really screw people up? Yeah, it's a horrible crime. I agree.
So I would absolutely for stuff like fraud, white collar crime. You commit. Here's one thing that I don't get. You commit a white collar crime and they get like to go to Club Fed for a couple years, right? Somebody goes in and commits a burglary and steals a TV. They could get, real prison time, 5-10 years.
Yeah. What's the difference? Stealing.
No.
No?
No, because, okay, look.
What's the other one? Like intellectual sort of property, sort of?
No.
Almost. You're not like stealing something.
No, physically. I'm gonna explain the difference. Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
Okay.
Okay, so dude, crackhead or whatever, decides he's gonna break into your house. He's gonna break into your house when you're not there. He breaks into your house and he steals your TV. Now maybe you have to fix a window and you have to buy a new TV. Maybe he steals some jewelry. Okay, something like that. Maybe he takes, $5,000 worth of stuff. That sucks. And I'd kill him for that. Absolutely, I'd kill him for that. Because as I said, I'd kill lots of people if I had the opportunity. I would kill him for that. But it's all replaceable. He didn't get to steal your life savings. Okay, he didn't get to touch your retirement account. He stole a TV, some jewelry, broke your door, your window. And you have insurance on all this stuff if you're smart. So maybe really you'll have to pay whatever your deductible is, $500,000. Now, a white collar criminal, they take everything from you. They take your life savings. They take your retirement fund. There is no insurance against this,
Bernie Madoff.
and they do it to hundreds and thousands of people. They not only, like, the common criminal that comes and robs you, it's horrible, you feel violated, all that kind of stuff, and they should kill you. I'm not saying they shouldn't. But in truth, they don't really take much. They don't do nearly the damage as a white collar criminal who not only takes more, but does it and replicates it and does it to hundreds and thousands of people. They should be tortured and killed.
Yeah, true.
I have always said, and this will never change. I really doubt it will ever change. If you are found guilty, and it can't be just like really just like on a whim kind of, or like, oh, there's a lot of circuit. But if you were like really really guilty, like, video evidence, or all sorts of stuff where it's like you're definitely guilty. Um, I've always said, for every life that you mess up, they should torture you and then kill you. So if you're one of these Ponzi guys or one of these white collar crime people, and you steal the life savings from, you know 110 people, you get tortured for 110 weeks, and then you die.
I like that. I
And if
like that.
and if people think it wouldn't be a deterrent, it may not be a total deterrent because you're never always going to deter crime. I accept that. But at the very least, you probably won't have to worry about people having to go to trial, because people that know they're guilty are going to say, "Oh crap, I can either eat a bullet or I'm going to face 110 weeks of torture and then I'm going to be killed. I know I'm guilty. I'm going to put a bullet in my head."
Well, it's going to not even get to that. It's going to be a huge deterrent, isn't it?
Hmm.
So, they,
Oh, and you make it public.
like the
That's
public,
that's another thing. When you
And do
hide
we
it,
do we sell? We can do like an HBO boxing match and
why
give the
why
proceeds
not?
to the victims.
I think they should. I think that would be a great thing to do. Yeah, make it a pay-per-view event, and then and then that would be awesome. I've actually never thought of giving the proceeds to the victims, but because I thought it should go in my pocket. But that'd be good.
You
It'd be
know what a
good.
giver I am.
Well, you're generous, unlike me. So uh, that would be a good idea. I think that would definitely be a good idea.
I think
Uh,
it would suit other crimes as well for
oh,
those victims.
speaking of that ugly bitch that runs the Federal Reserve, Chair Janet Yellen. This is coming off of Bloomberg Business. Bloomberg is a favorite guy of mine.
Yeah,
Friggin' prick. Um, which is ironic. Come on, the guy's a Jew and he's a goddamn Nazi.
that's kind of interesting, isn't
Doesn't
it?
anybody get the irony in that? I
I
mean,
don't think
he.
anybody gets anything
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, yeah. People are stupid. But I mean, he's a Jew, and I've heard Jews talk about how great it would be if, like, they love the fact that they. Okay, I was at a Rangers game, Rangers Devils game in Madison Square Garden, and there was a Jew business guy next to me. Look, I don't really care whether you're Jewish or not, but he was definitely Jewish. There was no doubt about it. I mean, he was Jewish. Um, and he's telling me how he likes Bloomberg because he's a libertarian. And I was like, Bloomberg's the complete opposite of a
Yeah,
libertarian.
I was wondering where he was getting that from.
And the guy was like, well, he's independent. I said, he's independent because he's too much of a statist to even be in the Democrat or Republican Party. I was like, he certainly is not libertarian. He's the total opposite of libertarian. I was like, he's a state, but this is how clueless. And this was obviously an educated guy. I mean, he was there in a business suit, all that kind of stuff. You know, I mean, he looked like he was probably Wall Street or an attorney or something in that, something in that realm. But he was stupid, you know. And I've heard other people. There was an obviously Jewish family down here where we were, and he was all talking about how it would be great if Bloomberg was president because we'd have the first Jewish president. That's how I could tell
Wow.
they were Jewish because they were touting that we needed Jewish president.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
like,
Like
you.
other people were excited about Obama becoming
Oh
president.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
had the
Well, and that
same
was
enthusiasm for
yeah,
their own people.
yeah, and that's one of the things I kind of I was thinking about. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, because
Not the
Obama.
best man for the job, but just someone they could identify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Interesting.
I mean, hey, look,
Yeah.
we have a guy who's we have a black guy for president because people wanted a black president. But there's no credentials to follow that up. Now, Bloomberg, the credentials are I'm a statist. I want to enforce my beliefs upon you. I want to
Oh,
take all your guns, although I'm not going to have my own personal bodyguards disarmed. Heavens forbid.
well,
Okay.
no. No.
And I'm going to tell you how you can live your life. I'm going to tell you what you can consume. I'm going to tell you what you
The
can do.
peasants.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to dictate everything about life to you, and you will follow it.
How much soda we can have?
How much soda you can have? I'm going to make sure you can't get table salt at a restaurant. I mean, you got to smuggle in fucking salt to get. Oh, these
Well,
fries
I
aren't.
definitely think you have a right to destroy your own health.
Yeah,
Um,
of course. You do have a right to destroy your own health, and I mean that's called a natural right. You have, and natural rights are not given by the government. No matter what the government does, you still can always destroy your health. They can't force you to be healthy.
no.
I mean it's kind of
Well, how do they think at restaurants are going to that's just ridiculous. Just that alone tells you the way this man thinks. Really.
but
You know what I mean?
but I mean good for him. Good
Yeah,
for him. He's a
yeah.
statist. He's a statist. He's a would be dictator. He was a dictator in New York, as mayor of New York. But here's the problem because people are just like, well, he's Jewish and I'm Jewish and I'd be happy to have him. Look,
Well, that's what I hate about people.
it's just so stupid. It's like, can't you just see this guy's a
Yeah,
fucking Nazi? Like,
doesn't matter.
can't you see that? Can't you get past your own? What would that be? It's
They
not
won't care
nationalistic.
until something huge impacts their lives that he does, and then they'll turn around to, goes to that quote, and then they came for me.
I
You know what I mean?
A-
So, yeah.
anytime, and I've used this on my mom actually, because my mom is a statist. Uh, she is. I'm not going to deny.
Well, she raised a lovely son.
Yeah, isn't that funny? She's actually always said that. She's like, I don't know where I went wrong. I was like, well, it's not a matter of you going wrong. It's
I think you turned out quite well.
well, thank you.
And, you're
But
welcome.
it's the thing is I grew up. Now my mom married a Jewish guy, okay, who I have the utmost respect for. And so I mean, my stepbrother's Jewish. My brother married a Jewish girl. I have no problem with Jews. I want to make that clear. Um,
Yeah,
I
just that
don't
particular one.
just that particular one, and the idiots that want to vote for.
Yeah,
Okay. And a lot of Jews vote Democrat. A lot of Jews have supported Obama, which is another thing I don't get. If
yeah.
anybody should be aware
Who's
and
anti-Israel, from
eh,
what I
oh,
gathered.
he's anti-Israel. Whether or not you agree with Netanyahu, which I can't say I totally agree with the guy. I mean, on
Yeah, but
some
how can you
aspects.
vote for one of your own just because he's a Jew, and then vote for somebody who's anti-Israel and is against your own?
Oh
Just
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And that's the whole thing
insanity.
is I don't get about them. I mean, he is obviously anti-Israel. Now, I could understand Hasidic Jews not voting for. I could understand if a Hasidic Jew wanted to vote for Obama, because Hasidic Jews don't believe that the state of Israel should exist. They believe that God needs to create the state of Israel, and man should not be doing it. So, I could understand Hasidic Jews, but Hasidic Jews are a very small percentage of the Jewish population in this country, and they're
Of
also the
course.
funniest looking ones. They're like the Amish of the
Yeah,
Jewish
they're
community.
like the Amish. Yeah, they're yeah.
Could you imagine a Hasidic Amish with like the big beard, but then the earlocks and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, that would be like a funny combination right there.
Well, they don't really look too far off of that, actually, minus a little, you
Oh, they
know,
wear the same kind of clothes,
fuzzy.
the
Yeah.
drab, dark clothing and stuff like
And
that.
a lot of the same strict, you know,
Yeah,
like,
it would just be funny the
religious
combination there.
values.
So
Yeah. Should we breed them? Right.
should we breed them? You and I breed them?
No, I'm
Uh
not breeding anyone. My
oh no.
vagina is closed.
Oh, it's
Right,
closed.
for that kind of action, yeah.
Oh
Things can
okay.
go in, but nothing's coming out.
Oh
It's like
okay.
the
Okay.
Roach Motel. You can go in, no, they can't come out. I'm kidding.
That's wonderful. That's
Right,
very interesting.
yeah. Okay. Enough talking about my scooter. Move on. Move along.
Okay,
Right.
so now this is why you need to get your camera working there, Bree.
I'm not going to show
I,
that on them.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying hey,
You might
prove
have
that.
been interested in my hand gestures. They were around that area. I'm like,
Oh, that would
nothing's going in.
see, and that's
something can
the
go in,
thing.
but it can't come out.
That's the thing. That's why you gotta get by next.
Well, if you check in, you can't check out, I guess. No, something can't. I don't know. Forget it. No vacancies. Putting
And-
no vacancy sign up.
Anyway, you're getting your camera fixed for next week. That's all I gotta say.
It's not. I can get one. It's the internet here just does not. It's so crappy. The streaming, like I can't even watch movies on TV, like on Netflix or anything. It's horrible.
We'll
So,
try it out. Do you have a direct line, or do you have? I mean, what do you have?
I guess it's a direct line, but it's kind of this weird.
Are you going through Wi-Fi once it comes in the house? Are you setting it up to a
Yeah,
router?
it's on Wi-Fi. Yeah, I've
Okay,
only
well
got
that's
Wi-Fi.
that's one and that's one reason. Are you
Yeah.
trying to like stream movies on Netflix through Wi-Fi?
Yeah, and they won't, and that's all I've got. I have no other way to do it.
I'm going to tell you. I am going to tell you, and I'm looking at it right now. Look up. Okay, do you have a pencil or a
Yeah.
pen? Okay, write this down.
Wait, hold on. I have. You didn't ask me if I had paper. Now I have paper. Okay.
Really? So when I ask if you have a pencil, what you figured I'd say? I was just going to say stick it
I
up
was
your
gonna write
nose.
it on my hand or on my thigh or something.
Okay. All right. You ready? You ready?
I'm always ready.
Okay. TP dash link, as in like toilet paper. Okay. TP dash link. Okay. Now,
Okay.
what they are is they're little things that you. Here's how you do it, because I have them in my house and they're awesome. They are totally awesome. You know how I was getting on Pete because he wasn't connected through Wi-Fi, even though his
Yeah.
router was like 10 feet away from him. And
Yeah.
I kept telling him get an Ethernet cable. He finally got an Ethernet cable, and for our last show, he almost had no dropping out sounds or anything like that. Everything worked fine.
That's cool.
You know, because I was as what's the saying? EJ's right. Okay, always right, and I was right again because I'm always right. So anyway, so he so anyway, but he actually could connect directly to his router. Okay, now my router is coming from downstairs, or my cable line is coming downstairs. That's where my modem is and everything like that. Okay, so my router's down there. But if you get these little TP links, what they are, they're little rectangular things that you just, I mean, they're small, about the size of a credit card, you know, in that's the footprint they take up. You plug it into the wall. Okay, you take an Ethernet cable, which comes with it, but you can always, most people in their house have a couple Ethernet cables lying around. You plug that in to your modem or your router or whatever, and then you plug it into the thing that's in the wall. Then wherever you have like whatever it is, your Netflix box or PlayStation or computer or whatever, you plug in another one of those TP link things, plug in the Ethernet cable and run it out to your computer. And what it does is it uses the existing the electric lines in your house as an Ethernet.
So it basically boosts your signal so you can get a stronger.
Okay, you have Wi-Fi, and then you have a direct connection, like you have a
Hmm.
LAN, okay, which is your
Yeah.
Ethernet, okay.
Yeah.
It becomes an Ethernet instead of
Very cool.
Wi-Fi. It becomes an Ethernet. For example, I tested my speeds on my PlayStation. Now on my PlayStation, I'm not sure what I've got on this one. Now, keep in mind, I have downstairs, like I bought the starter kit. I bought like the starter kit, which was a 200 megabit a second um, uh, uh, kit. Okay, so each one is rated at like 200 megabits a second. And I initially got it from my PlayStation. So I bought it from my PlayStation. I hooked it up, and I was getting, and I like quadrupled my speeds. Okay, my upload and download speeds quadrupled. Then I decided when I was trying to do the static air and stuff, and we decided to do video. Well, I realized, as opposed to audio, I realized I needed, better speeds. So I ordered another one, but I just ordered an individual one. Now this one was a 500 megabits a second, little TP link thing. Now what I did is
Yeah.
I put that downstairs, so that's the one coming from my modem. Okay, connected to my modem, and then I took my other 200 and I put it upstairs with my PlayStation. The other one is up by my computer. So that's the thing. If you buy the initial set, you can always buy additional pieces, and like if you want to have it set up like in your bedroom, you can just buy one more plug-in
Isn't it cool?
and then just do it that way. So that's what I
Yeah,
did.
because I'm sick of the streaming issues.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what everybody wants to do with their internet now is
Oh yeah.
stream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which is going to be all screwed up once net neutrality really kicks in. But anyway, um, so so now on the
So this is a bad
downstairs.
investment.
Oh
Right?
no, it's not
I'm kidding.
it's
I'm
not
joking.
expensive. It's not expensive. So even if you were to get a couple months out of it, it'd probably be worth it. Um, so downstairs I have a 500 megabit a second, and then coming up to my PlayStation I have 200. Now I had quadrupled my speeds from Wi-Fi. Okay, then once I got that 500 megabits a second, now you would think it wouldn't really affect it that much because the one coming out of the wall was still 200. I still increased my speeds to the point where they were about 5 times Wi-Fi speeds. Now I can only imagine if I went and bought another 500. I mean, I could probably get even better speeds. I don't really need it, so I don't bother with it. But anyway, I should contact TP Link and tell them to send me a free one for that awesome plug I just did for them. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you're having issues with that, streaming issues, that kind of stuff. Because what do you have? You have cable, like cable modem.
Um. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but we're way out there. It's like some weird AT&T sort of. What I don't know. It's something they did for rural areas. I don't know. We used to have satellite, and we just went to this. But it's not like high speed internet or anything.
Oh
So.
well, maybe the TP thing won't really affect you because I mean I have
Uh,
I have cable, so I mean I've
yeah.
got I've got like I forget what I have, uh, but I mean I have a cable modem coming in, so I have an open pipeline from the house, you know what
Yeah.
I mean, whereas you may not. So even if you get this, it may not help. I don't know. What you need to do
I'll have
is
to call my company and ask
yeah, you need
them.
to find out what speeds you should be expecting to get. You can call them up and say what speeds are coming into and out of the house. That's what I need to know. And if they're if they're saying like, oh, it's 15 megabytes coming into your house, but you're probably through Wi-Fi, you're probably only getting like 6 megabytes or megabits or whatever. Then it would be worth it for you to get this TP link thing. But
I think they've got like, yeah,
if they tell you you're only getting like 5 coming in, you know, oh,
screw it.
we have a call
Who?
I'm about to find out.
Hmm.
989, you are on the Revolution.
Oh, hi, EJ.
What's up? I thought you were a prank caller. I was about to get excited there. What's up, Dr. Don?
Well, I'm only calling because Bree's on,
Yeah, he's
Oh,
only calling to
and
talk to me.
yeah, because she's got a sexy voice, and
Oh,
I've
thank
been
you.
listening, and I had to run into the bathroom 3 times during the show.
oh, when she was talking about her cooch being like the Roach Motel?
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
but
That
there's
was a
other
bad
things.
analogy. But, anyhow, how are you?
Very
Doing
good.
okay?
You?
Good. Good.
Yes,
Good. What time's your show on?
absolutely.
Right after
Uh, no,
10?
this is Wednesday.
Oh,
Yes.
it's Wednesday.
Yes,
I
Don,
didn't know what day
Yeah,
it is.
Don does his show at Saturday at 9.
That's
and
right.
and I want you to know I got I plug you guys a lot, and I talk to my friends on Facebook, and I got an email. I don't know if I'm the only one that got it, and it could have been a form email. I don't know. It just says you will not be plugging other uh, shows on other networks that compete against Blog Talk. I wish I had.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I printed it out. I printed it out. Now it's in a stack of all kinds of papers around here. But yeah, and they told me also cease and desist on playing any kind of songs. Now we only play like a partial, and that's it. But that's no good either. And
Don, you.
no, it's a whole list of stuff, bro. You wouldn't believe.
Oh, I totally
Wow.
believe it, man. I totally believe it because Block Talk knows they're done. They're done. I, it's
I think
it's
so.
it's only a
Well,
matter of time.
you think they'd be more lenient,
More
Well,
but
yeah,
lenient, exactly. But
yeah.
no,
exactly.
they're in damage control right now because they're
YouTube.
word is going to spread, and they're going
Well,
to people are going to
you
find
you're
out.
gonna you're gonna love this though. Let me finish here. Uh, Foul language is looked upon as a no-no on Blog Talk. Talking see how do I talking like about well, they didn't say politicians, but that's what they meant. They meant public servants. Uh,
Mm.
if you play a tape, oh, if you get a tape, it,
Like
you
a
know,
clip.
that, yeah, a clip. Thank you. That was what I was looking for and couldn't find it. Oh, I want to screw this girl on TV. Anyway, you got to declare where you got it, or make sure it's not copyrighted. You got to do all this other crap. I said, what in the
Wow.
world? Blog Talk has turned into, well, it has been for a long time, but now I don't know if it's because of the I can't even say the word. The new net
Neutrality.
laws coming in out. Thank you, dear. Um, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know if I'm the only one that got this email. But my God, I was PO'd. I was a little upset
Well,
Well,
uh,
it limits
because
you.
well, let me explain something. And EJ knows this. On Blog Talk, you've got adult, you've got like PG, and well, not PG. Well, yeah,
yeah,
PG,
it's
and then
basically like PG. Yeah.
there's like three different things, and I always pick adult because my God, you say that you get ready for the outcome sometimes, and and it, they still have that on there, but I guess you can't do that. It's incredible how they've that's a trash thing anyway. It's just trash.
Well,
Anyway,
and here's the thing. I mean, they really are in damage control.
I I
Blog
think so.
Blog Talk. It was interesting. Like after we found out about what YouTube was doing, how they were doing the same thing we were working on, but they were offering it free. I remember talking with my parents. They said, "Well, what do you think's going to happen with these other things that was you were thinking was going to be your competition, like Blog Talk and stuff like that?" I said, "They're done. They're finished. It's a couple months, so
Yeah,
they'll be a thing in the past." I mean, who's going to pay $40? I mean,
yeah,
even if their service is like, "Hey, you want to fuck a goat?" We don't care. Okay,
yeah.
but now they're putting restrictions on people. I mean,
They,
honestly,
they,
what I would
yeah.
do
I-
if I was you, I would set up a YouTube account. If you want to, I'll help you out with it. You get a
I have no idea how to do that at
super
all.
easy. You were
I,
able to set up
I
a Facebook account. You were able to set up different things. I know Cinnamon is
Cinnamon
younger
did that.
than you.
Yep.
So
By a few years.
she's a little bit more technologically advanced than Stone and Stick like you use for everything.
Oh,
True.
hey.
Okay.
Are you
Um,
Well,
saying
he's right.
Donnie's not hip and cool? Come on.
I'm
I'm
not
hip, man.
I'm not
I'm
saying
hip.
Donnie's
If
not
you
hip. He's
take me
very.
back to the '70s, baby, and I was cool. Now, I'm, now that I'm 60 years old, 60 years old, but the little man still works, and that's all that matters to me. I
That's all
am
that
not.
matters.
What? And when I got your text tonight, I said, YouTube. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah. So
Did not know. I thought you took your show off for a while because I could not find it one time. I clicked it, and nothing came up,
yeah.
and
Okay.
and
So
I
you're not aware of what happened. Well, as you know,
I
what
have no idea.
okay, so you know that we were working on making a place where you could do live streaming shows, right?
Right.
And we were going to
Mhm.
charge $30 a month. We were going to undercut Blog Talk Radio by $10 a month, and you were going to be able to do live video shows, all sorts of different stuff.
Right.
We were just getting to the point where and you had helped beta test it, which we definitely appreciate. And we were just at the point where we were going to start doing automations and work out a few bugs, and then we were going to go live.
Right.
Well, then YouTube, because YouTube is Google,
Right.
YouTube, they come out with YouTube Live, which does everything we were doing, except it does it free because they have all the advertising revenue.
Wow. I
So,
did not know a thing about that.
so our company was dead in the matter of, minutes within finding this out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we weren't very happy about that. I mean,
No, you guys put a
yeah.
lot of time getting that, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, and it was working. It was working pretty well, but now with Google and through YouTube with YouTube Live, you can do shows, Donnie, for total free. They have an encoder, they have a player. I actually don't use it. I use a different player. It's called XSplit, which is pretty simple once you figure it out. Um, it's I don't even remember. We have a corporate account, and it costs $60 a year for unlimited licenses to get this. Now, to do to do what we're doing right now, where we have Skype calls coming in and we have our own call-in number, um,
Mhm.
we actually paid for that. I think that's an extra $60 a year, roughly.
$60 a year is all.
Yeah. So now, supposedly you can do that. Now, supposedly you can do it. Now, keep in mind, Google also has where you can get your own number and stuff like that through Google, which I don't know how much you pay. But
Yeah.
I know it's cheap. A friend of mine had Google phone number, so they're trying to keep everything within themselves because I couldn't figure out exactly how to use Skype with a Google. Because what Google uses is Google will use you can actually use, like as I said, you can use this XSplit software that I'm using. to broadcast to YouTube Live. Or you can use their encoder. But from what I saw, because I tried out their encoder, and I could be wrong, but from what I saw with their encoder is you wind up using everything Google. Like you can't use Skype. With this, I can drop in the Skype feed, and so like everything is kind of merging. All the sounds and everything from my computer are merging onto this one thing and being pumped out to YouTube. Okay, and streaming there. Uh, I don't know if you can use Skype with the YouTube player with the Google Hangouts, but they do have it where you can get your own Google phone number, so you could have live call-in people, and the price is going to be so much cheaper. I mean, 1 year is going to be cheaper, probably cheaper than Blog Talk costs for a month.
Damn. I pay. I got on Blog Talk when it was. If you got in now, it was $30.
When I started, it was free. Yeah, when you started, it was free.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
when
I've
we
been
started
with
with it.
Google for, whatever it's called now. I'm old. I'm sorry.
I
Blog
understand.
Talk. It's been about 7 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to, maybe tomorrow or something, Donnie. I mean, I can go over this with you. I mean, I know you're retired and all, and all you do is sit at home and yank on things.
Well,
So,
I do yank it.
I'm sure you do.
Well, of course I do. I'm a fast. I'm one of those guys that the 2 minute thing. But if I yank one, I can go in there and say, "Hello, I'm good for 7 minutes." Then
Wow.
I'm
7.
bad as you want to. I'm bad as you want to be now.
That would wear me out.
That would work.
I know it would. 'Cause I'm like the fastest rabbit you ever seen. You go, wow, he's slapping those thighs, man. Those thighs are. I love that sound. I'm starting to go into. Hey, I got to go to the bathroom here in a moment.
Oh no!
Turned on.
Oh
Again?
Yeah, Bree, I'm quick, but I'm often.
You did it like 4 times. Wouldn't that be something like 28? You can last 28 minutes now?
Oh, no, it's 7, okay? Okay, 7. But I do
Girls
other
can
things,
help.
I
Oh,
smoke
okay.
a cigarette. Well, I smoke a cigarette.
Oh, I thought you meant something else.
No, well, yeah, I know what you meant, and I'm getting to that part, But I look at it, and I got to get in it. And with that, anyway, EJ, I gotta put a new light system in my kitchen tomorrow. So tomorrow wouldn't be a good day, but I would like to talk to you about this.
well, give me a call Friday then.
Well, is this your number that I have,
No,
or is this your show number?
This number right now is a show number. You should have my.
I don't. You
Well, wait a
changed
second.
your-
Hold on a second. No, I did not change it. You senile bastard. Okay, you changed it.
I called it.
I have
I
had
called you.
I have had the same number. I have had the same number for the past. Oh God, let me see. 14
it's still
fucking
in my-
years.
Then it's in my phone then.
Okay.
And
Well-
I called it, and it. I don't know what it said. No,
You got a
months
text.
ago.
You got a text from me tonight, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
That would be my phone that I texted you from.
Well, I'll try to remember that.
Okay, so
DJ yells at me about forgetting phone numbers as well. He threatened me with a spanking earlier.
yes, I
Well, he
did.
thought it was a
Ooh,
threat.
I know. Hey, that sent me to the bathroom the second time.
Bree did say that a spanking would be she would enjoy that, so I would have to figure out some
And I
other
had to
form
run.
of punishment. So, Donnie, I will not
yeah.
be spanking you.
No. I don't swing that. I know Obama makes it legal, and Obama likes to be spanked. And I got a damn letter from Blog Talk. Good Lord, you think I got a memory? Saturday night, I played like 4 different clips, and Wayne Matson was in an NSA, and he was intelligence for the Navy and all that, but he turned reporter, and he did he wanted to go to Chicago and investigate Rahm Emanuel when he declared he's going to run for mayor. And it led into the bathhouse, I think we talked about this, in Chicago. It's a gay bathhouse that all of them that didn't think anything of it. It was Rahm Emanuel and Barack Obama in the gay bathhouse. And it led into, he said, it led into other things. And he said, in my opinion, it led into the Trinity Church, which they have a download club in the church. And the choir, the leader of the choir was in it. And some of these folks ended up dead very soon after he decided he was going to run for president. They ended up dead. And he said, this Larry Sinclair, I'm sure you remember his name, he's the first one that came out and said that Obama and him had a little slap and tickle in the back of a limousine as they were getting high. And nobody believed him. He said, he apologized. He said, I should have actually looked into it, but I thought it was just dirty politics. And he said, now I don't think it's dirty politics at all. I think what Larry Sinclair said was completely he was telling the truth. And this marriage with, like you say, Michelle, well, the Mookie, was set up. They don't like each other. They don't want anything to do with each other.
I would,
And,
it's interesting because I am actually going to, I will go on the record and say I'm not even sure if Michelle Obama is a woman.
Well,
Where did the kids come from?
Well,
Adopted?
that's another
I
thing.
don't know.
They're saying the kids were like adopted type. But now I don't know that to be true, of course, and I think Michelle's probably a woman, but a man, women, and
Like a mangina?
but yeah, manginas, and but she, they went to California last weekend. I don't know if you read the story. They're going to L.A. in the same place, but they flew separate planes, which is the Air Force One cost $225,000 an hour for 1 hour.
Yep.
1 hour air travel.
Right.
Yeah, 1 hour, and that isn't counting all the other crap they have to take and the cars and that other crap that goes along with it. And Michelle flew out in a separate plane. Imagine, they, how many planes they got, and they didn't even want to travel together. They did 2 different shows.
Well, did they have different agendas, or had to leave at
Well,
different times,
that's what they claim. But then an investigator, reporter that isn't non-mainstream, said no, Michelle didn't have no agenda,
because it's made our life
and
easier to share information with one
Obama
another.
flew
We're able to share
flew
information
back,
easily.
and they just don't.
Well,
They don't. All these people, you gotta go, check out this tape. It's very interesting. There's a lot of them on there. You just Google Obama gay or something. Even the classmate she's a female, came out, said there were kids together, and she said, boom. God, I can say what I can say without you having to delete the show. My show's gone from Saturday night, by the way.
What?
It is gone.
What do you mean it's
By the
gone?
way. It's gone. They took it off. They
Took your show off?
Yeah, they
Big-
took it off. I'm still on Blog Talk, but
Because
that
you
show
said
is off.
fuck or something like that, or?
No, I played these Obama clips.
Are you suspended or off for good?
No. I'm not suspended. They just canceled. After we did the show, hour later, the show was gone. And
they got rid of that particular show.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. I'm not expressing myself well because I'm high on Vicodin. And
There we go.
So am I. And when you're old, you get these aches and pains, and you're gonna take 5 or 7 Vicodins to calm the nerves. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? Now, see,
Blog Talk deleted your last show.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but give me back before that. What was I saying?
All these things, these videos to watch on the Obamas.
Yeah. I played that lady. Now she's an older lady, of course. She's in her 50s. She said in Hawaii they had a group, and everybody were friends. They didn't care about gay people. Everybody hung out. Obama, of course, smoked a lot of pot, and then got into cocaine, but nobody had money. And his best friend, which is now dead, said Obama would take care of an older white man for money, to get money to buy cocaine. And she said, well, he hung around with all the gay people. They had, and there's pictures. She's got a picture of him right next to her, his boyfriend, and which is fine with. I don't care what you are, EJ, I know you don't give a damn, because as long as they don't bother me.
Yeah.
But God dang.
Although I do believe that you should.
You got to disclose.
Yeah.
You got to.
That's a hard thing to disclose for a guy.
Yeah. Well, things
come out and say I
now.
was a co-core to do.
Well,
I don't think people.
Yeah, well, that is. Yeah, that is. and they also, Wayne Matson said, there's proof that Reverend Wright took Obama under his wing and spanked the monkey a few times. But hey, what what the hell? But
I mean, I've heard those rumors, but is there actual hard evidence?
well, there's people. hard. Is anybody in the bathroom, gentlemen? I gotta go back in there again. Good Lord, this woman's killing. No, but you get all these people, and this lady from Hawaii, and she said his boyfriend was mysteriously murdered, just shot in the chest, opening the door. And it was at the time when Obama was running, and you go to Chicago, and then you see these people that they didn't even open their mouth. These people didn't talk, but they mysteriously shot themselves 3 or 4 times, and they were suicide. It's like the Clinton deal in Arkansas. This guy, Clinton, is unbelievable. He didn't do the killings, but to protect him, all these people got murdered, shotgun shot to the back of the head, but it was suicide. And come to find out that Clinton appointed the coroner. And and this is in all the records, and this isn't just hearsay. This guy decapitated himself, shot himself, and that was suicide.
That's a little suspicious.
You
I'm
tell
no
me how he
expert.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then before Clinton
It's
left, he
difficult.
put him in a
Maybe out of
a
guillotine.
job. Yeah,
Right,
they took him out of when Clinton was running for president, wasn't going to run for governor anymore. They put him in a job that he can't be removed. That's how he takes care of people, and it just is. And then you got Killer Beast. Holy mackerel! This woman. Can you drop the bowling ball on your foot so many times and still run for president? This woman is. She's in. They interviewed, and I got that tape. He was hired by one of Clinton's boys to follow one of the women that I think it was Kathleen Willey, but I'm not sure. And kind of terrorize her, right? Call her, and she had a cat, and the cat's skull was on the porch, and that was it. But the detective decided, well, got some conscience, and said, I called her and left a message, and they talked to her. I got that on tape. Did the man call you to warn you they're after you? And she said, I still got the tape. He called twice, and this detective said, I called her twice because I felt so bad for her. And she claimed that she's got the tape. And here we put these idiots in office. Please, somebody with more brains than me and a better memory, tell me how this happens. I'm
because
flabbergasted.
people are stupid. That's why.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, man.
Exactly.
It's not simple.
That's it. There's we can ponder it all we want, but the simple fact is it was funny because a friend of the show, Nathan, he's been a guest on. He has his own show on Free Talk Live. He actually had posted something, and it's something I've said before. I'm sure it's plenty of people have said it. I'm not saying I got the corner on this, but he said something that I definitely said before, which is those who know history are doomed to watch the fools that don't repeat it.
I
And
like
that's
it.
and that's what it is. You know,
It is. It
people
is.
like us who do understand history and how it happened, we get to sit back and watch all the fools repeat it. You know,
And
there's a meme that goes around on Facebook, and it says it shows a picture of somebody with the tattoo on their wrist from a concentration camp in Germany or Poland or wherever,
mhm.
and it says something to the effect of I've often wondered how things like the Holocaust could have ever happened, and then I realized that I'm watching it unfold in my own country right before my very eyes.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely, and you're right. There's an old Jewish lady's 93, 4 years old, and they interviewed her, and she said, I got to this country, it was so beautiful, and it was so free, and it was great. She said, I'm seeing the same things here now that I seen back in Germany.
uh huh.
and
Well,
and people blew it off.
and there's and
People
there's
blew
and
it off.
and there's right now there's this Chinese woman who's like an activist. Okay,
Mhm.
grew
Mhm.
up during the Cultural Revolution
Right.
in Red China,
Mhm.
and she's totally torn apart Common Core. And she said this is basically just like the schooling that she went through.
Mm.
And the thing is, she grew up during it, so she was already alive when they started implementing, the new curriculum under Mao, and
Wow.
she sees Common Core as the same exact thing. She's like, and
Exactly.
she makes the parallels between different things. Yeah, there's a couple things that are good, but ultimately it's trying to get people to group things, and
Right.
then it goes into the record keeping of of children from when they first start school to when they're in their 20s, which that's
Right.
not going to end at that point. Um,
Right.
and it reporting on your family,
Mhm.
all sorts of stuff, and this is part of Common Core.
Oh,
Excuse me. See, I'm
absolutely. Now, have you been reading up on TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, that Obama's pushing, but doesn't want anybody to know what's in it? He's
I
got
I
this is all a part of Agenda 21. It's got very little to do with trade,
oh yeah, that
but
I
a
know. That I know.
whole lots to do about how we. And I've got a tape of Walter Cronkite. You remember him?
Hmm.
Daddy News on CBS, and everybody watched him, and I've got a tape. He was did at this meeting with all these people, and Hillary Clinton was there also. And he got up there and he said, I can now say what I couldn't say when I was on the air. And a world government. We want a world government. We need a world government. We also, the American people, it's gonna be tough for them to swallow because they're gonna lose some of their sovereignty. And let me tell you, I was shocked. Well, although I did read a lot about him, and he wasn't who we thought he was back in the '60s when Kennedy got assassinated and everything. And I remember seeing him cry, almost break up. This
Mm.
dude, he called it like it was, and he said people are gonna, but it'd be better for us. We're gonna lose some of our freedoms. He said we're gonna lose some of our rights, but it'll all be good for us. And I
Huh.
really,
Those are the
that
dangerous
blew me
words. It's good for us.
away. Yes, and I want you. It's on YouTube. It's on you. I stole it from YouTube.
This is
You
Agenda
got
21, right? The UN
yeah.
plan for
Oh,
sustainable
absolutely.
development.
Well, that's what they changed it to. See, yeah,
Sustainable
everybody was about.
development.
Yeah, now it started out Agenda 21, just like global warming, right? They change it when it gets if people start going, oh, hold on here. But Agenda 21 changed to what you just said, and
Sustainable development. Yeah.
right, so
But they want
people
to take
think, well,
over this worldwide plan for, mineral rights, animal rights, water, land.
water.
So very
Hmm.
dangerous.
Yeah, and the land grab the federal government and our countries doing is
Oh,
unbelievable.
yeah.
And hey, Harry Reid is this in Nevada. They found something. Uh, this is 2 weeks ago, and I still can't. I don't remember. They put 100,000 acres under federal
Ooh.
jurisdiction, and in Texas they want to put 220,000 acres of land. So every time if they find anything that could help, you start a business, uh, they put that on the federal. You ought to see the map of all the land the federal government owns. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
It just
I'm
blows you
curious.
away. I joined I think it's a congressman from Utah. He's a state congressman. Uh, my God, I joined his deal. It's about land grab. It's unbelievable. They're taking over. They're
Oh
going to
yeah.
have
Yeah.
water rights, food,
That was
and
that was something
and Al
about his.
Gore. Go ahead. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, you go ahead. I was just
Well,
going
I'll
to mention.
go ahead and mention.
Yeah, Harry Reid's. That was about the Bundy land grab, but they're sort of trying to hide
Yeah.
his involvement in that. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. And you all heard what Al Gore said. He said this 2 days ago, Monday or something. He was at a convention. He wanted to. Here's what he wants. If you say anything about global warming, climate change, bad, you're gonna get. He wants you punished. Punished.
Wow.
I've got that tape, and they played it again
So if
tonight.
we
They
dispute climate change,
on the
we'd be
news.
punished. Yeah.
If EJ or me or you get on the air and say something bad about
Dispute it or discredit global warming.
which is easy to do,
Hmm.
to discredit this thing, he wants us punished.
Oh
And
yeah.
it
Well,
was on. Matter of fact,
yeah,
Fox News had it on tonight.
it's just like Valerie Jarrett. Valerie Jarrett
Oh
once,
Lord.
it's the philosophy that they all share. Okay, and make no mistake about it, it is the same type of philosophy as uh, people like Mao, like we were talking about, Stalin, Hitler,
That's
all these
that's
people,
right.
Pol Pot, all these people had the same ideology. It was we will punish you. Okay, when we get the power, if you disagreed with us or you stood in our way, we will
Mhm.
punish you. And then when they get the power, they will punish you for disagreeing with them just flat out. This
That's
is
right.
this is the concept. This is the philosophy. Shut up, you fucking peon. You don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
And people like this need to be shot.
They're treasonous. They should be shot. People that want to take everything from, and they do. They want to take everything from us. They want to take our guns. They want to. Now Obama is going to sign something to. He can't take your guns away. Well, guess what? He's going to try to take the the bullets away.
Yeah,
Uh, uh,
but hold on a second, Donnie. You know
yeah.
for a
Go for it.
fact. You know for a fact. We called that years and years ago, probably 5, 6 years ago.
Oh yeah.
We not
Oh,
only we
absolutely.
not only called that, we said how they do it. And the funny thing is he actually has just gotten around to one of the other ways that we said that they could do it either via EPA, via
Yep.
um, via executive order, or via purchasing, just basically buying up all the ammunition so none of it is left. Now
And the
they have.
purchase they did it. They did the purchasing, and
through
it didn't
DHS.
stop.
Okay.
It just slowed
It
the
slowed it.
process for us to get it. And now, yeah, absolutely.
They did it through. They did it through the EPA. They
Yep,
have.
EPA.
Yep.
That's the nastiest organization since the IRS.
And they've and
EPA.
now they're doing an executive order. They did it another way that we didn't call out, but we said years ago. Actually, you know what? It was me that said it because it wasn't Bear because he's a douchebag. Okay, it was
Bear
me.
can say it.
It was me. I said,
Bear.
look, they're not going to come after your guns because it's political suicide. Because I said, look at the '90s when they had the assault weapons ban. Okay,
Right.
it was political suicide, and they damn well knew it. So I said they're not going to go after the guns. They'll just go after the ammo. Okay, and they'll just do it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just do it in ways they're not going to outlaw the ammo. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're not going to. Congress won't do anything like that, but Congress will just step aside while Obama does as he pleases. Now,
Exactly.
this executive order, I want to make this clear to any fucking person listening. Executive order is not law. I don't give a shit if George Bush fucking wrote it. I don't give a shit if Obama wrote it. I don't give a shit if George Washington wrote the executive order. Executive orders are not law. Executive orders only apply to those in the employment of the federal government. That's it.
Talk to him, brother.
That
Talk
is
to the
it.
masses.
Okay, because and the best way to say it as an example is Donnie's the CEO and I'm a CEO. And I want to have all my workers wear plaid shirts and khakis. Okay? I can write
Mm-hmm.
a rule that says all people employed in EJ Inc. wears plaid and khakis. And if you don't like it, find a new job. But everybody that works for me has to wear plaid and khakis. It doesn't affect Donnie's company. It doesn't affect Bree. It doesn't affect anybody else. It's the same exact thing with an executive order. An executive order is only for those in the employment of the federal government, and that is fucking it.
Talk to him, brother.
That
And
makes
I got
sense.
another. Yeah, it does, Bree. And the man that used to steal all, some of your ideas, and
Oh, Mr. Beck.
yes, he came out and he said, "I'm not a Republican no more. I'm not. I'm dropping
Yeah.
out." And guess what?
Congratulations, Mr. Beck. You're a little bit too that's you know what? I welcome anybody that makes it that can take.
Well, hold on. Let me finish, EJ.
Okay,
Let me
go ahead.
finish because he did a good thing. The RNC got a hold of Glenn Beck, and whoever he talked to said thousands of people are flooding the RNC, saying they're dropping out, they're gone, they're done. And they called Glenn Beck and said, "Now, what do you do? Why?" Well, if it isn't obvious, you why? Well, you're dumb. But thousands of people do follow Glenn Beck. They pay money and they follow Glenn Beck,
All right.
and he's got and. Man, when he said that, it opened up a barnstorm to the RNC, and they panicked, and they called him. And he said, "I cannot put up with what they're doing. They probably, like us, we know all the promises they made, bam, 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 and never got done. And he said, I'm not going to go. I don't believe him anymore.
Well,
There's only a few.
well, and
Louis Gomer. Thank you. And Sessions in Alabama. Jeff Sessions.
Here's one. I'll say, and I've been saying this guy for a while, and
Lee,
not
love him.
not Mike Lee, but
No,
I like Mike Lee too. Justin
you damn
Amash.
right. Oh yeah, from
Just
Michigan.
Yep, from Michigan, from your neck of the woods. Justin Amash. I've been touting Justin Amash for quite a few years now. Pete finally just recently said, "Man, I'm loving me some Justin Amash." So Pete's got on board with Justin Amash. Now in Texas, like your other co-host, Mr. Texas Bob, the chicken lover.
Yep.
His neck of the woods, there is a Republican state legislator, Jason Villalba, or something like that, Viaba or something, Villalba, and he is trying to ban citizens from filming police officers. Texas State Representative Jason Villalba, Republican Texas, has found himself at the center of controversy after filing a bill that would make it a crime for bloggers and independent journalists, as well as regular citizens, to film police officers. Despite the backlash from free speech advocates, Villalba is insisting that this bill does not infringe on constitutional rights or limit liberty in any way. The guy's a piece of shit. Okay? Jason Villalba, I'll challenge you to a cage match anytime. You and Eric Holder, I'll kick the shit out of both of you.
You do him, and I want Al Gore. I want Al Gore in the worst way. Harry Reid would be next. Just put him.
It would be good.
Both.
Now, in response, Congressman Justin Amash of Michigan, a liberty advocate and prolific tweeter, lowered the boom on Villalba. And what he wrote on Twitter, Justin Amash said, to his constituents, please take him up on this. If you don't like it, vote me out of office. Justin Amash is one of the few good guys in the Republican Party. Now, I want to talk about what you were saying about Glenn Beck.
Go.
Okay, Glenn Beck. As I was saying, I welcome anybody that opens their eyes, that is not so guilty of cognitive dissonance that they can actually open their eyes and they can say, I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. I have been presented with evidence that is contrary to what I have long held belief about and has proved me to be incorrect, and I am now changing my way of thinking. That is something that somebody that does not suffer from cognitive dissonance would actually say. Now, Glenn Beck, I have to say, though, since you were stealing shit from our show for quite some time, and other shows I'm sure of, I'm sure you were aware that you should be on the side of liberty a long time ago. You should have been not talking shit about Ron Paul. You should have been supporting Ron Paul and blasting the RNC instead of getting on the bandwagon saying we need anybody but Obama because anybody but Obama got us fucking white version Obama with Mitt Romney. Okay? So, Mr. Beck, welcome to the fucking party, pal. Okay? To quote...
on his show, he's changed so much. He has people from that go around the country telling people about Agenda 21, and he said I didn't believe. He wrote a book about Agenda.
He wrote a book
21,
called Agenda 21. Yes. Yeah.
I got it, and I'm telling you, he's changed. He's changed, and he has an army of people that follow him.
But Donnie, we thought it was too late years ago, right? You and I have had this conversation. You know, Bree's had this conversation with us. This is going back to when I was doing the show with Bear years ago. Okay.
Well, Bear didn't know what country he was in, so leave Bear out of it.
Okay.
Bear makes me sick.
Yeah, it makes me sick though. But But we've been saying we thought it was too late back then. And that was many. That was 4 or 5 years ago at least. We thought it was too late. We didn't think you could fix things. It had gone too far. Well, now it's
I
four.
think we can.
You think it can be?
We can fix this. The
How?
people,
How?
the people, the people. Listen, how long has the Republicans and Democrats ran this country? Yeah, I don't even know.
Well,
Uh,
since
I, I,
since the 1850s, roughly,
well,
and
no,
and and and, and,
1850s.
and before
They
that,
had, they had,
you had the Democrats and the
yeah.
Whigs, and then you had the Republican Party, which is the equivalent of the Libertarian Party now.
So here's what I'm saying. People, uh, when they see what's coming down, and they will, that they will see it. And I'm telling you, there's going to be, they're going to, I firmly believe this. They're going to go to Washington in masses and throw the Pelosi's and the Reeds, and I think everybody, and I do believe the Army, Navy, Air, everybody's going to be on our side because they're talking out. Generals are talking out, and
I would like to believe you're correct, but I don't.
I do. I don't. It's not too late. It's not too late.
I think by
It's
the
not
time
too
I
late.
think by the time that people finally decide that it's time to get off their ass and to take a stand, it will be far too late.
Well,
And put it this way: if we were as a people, okay, we're willing to actually get up, like I was to say to you, and there was millions like me and you, and we were saying, Donnie, I'll meet you in Washington. Okay, you're leaving from Michigan, I'm leaving for Virginia. It's not going to take me long. Okay,
right,
all right, I'm going to
right.
meet you in Washington. We're going to do this along with millions of other people. It might not be too late. It might not be too late. But I don't think. I mean, people were actually thinking about marching on Washington. What, last year or the year before? Was it? I don't recall. Um, but the police force said, "Hey, look, you come in with an open carry. We're going to
Yeah,
meet you. We're going to meet you with force." And everybody backed down. And everybody backed down. And I was actually in contact with the guy that was heading that up. I was in contact with him. I said, you can't telescope your moves with these people. You
that's
can't. You have to. This has to be something that's spontaneous, like a flash mob kind of thing. But you have to tell people, hey, just be ready. You know, it's got to be a little bit subversive, but you have to get people to be ready to show up, and just be like, bam, we're
when
going to show up. Maybe you
when
maybe you
you
say we're gonna have an event and it's gonna be 20 miles outside of D.C. Let's say. All right, but that's
no
just to get everybody together. So then you can say, all right, it's on in D.C. and now you're already pre-positioned, just like they're doing to us, where they're pre-positioning all their weapons of war and their MRAPs and their Bearcat vehicles. Okay, they're
right,
pre-positioning them all over the country where the guns
right,
are, where the people that would be willing to fight are. That's why they're in podunk places, because there's guns and people that like liberty. They're not putting them in all the cities where you've got people that are on the dole. They don't give a shit if
right.
you burn your neighborhood down. Haven't you got that yet? I'm not
Yeah,
talking about you. I'm
well,
talking about people in
I
general.
know, but
Now,
I'll
let me
tell
let
you right now. Well, hold on. You said when when they meet you, and there was a bridge, and I can't. One of the activists was arrested. He had his gun, and
Adam
but
Kokesh.
if you have what?
Adam Kokesh.
Well, thank you. Boy, you got a hell of a memory. Wish I had it. Uh, if you have what I was talking about from this masses of people, those people are going to run for the hills, and I guarantee you, Pelosi will be on the first plane back to California where these idiots live. And
Well, these people need to be apprehended. These people need to be apprehended, and
we'll get them.
this is one of the things,
We'll
because
get them.
if they're not apprehended, they're gonna try to rule by proxy.
We're
Okay.
gonna get them.
Now you could go take over the Capitol building, but they have redundancy in leadership. They would just say look, it's been taken over by this would be their attitude. They'd be on the air, they'd be explaining all this, and this is their attitude. They would say that the United States, the Capitol building has been overrun by revolutionary terrorists, or maybe not even revolution. They would just say by domestic terrorists. By domestic terrorists, they have been overrun by domestic terrorists. We are do not fear government. Your government is still operating. We are still in charge, and that is how they would do it. You would need to actually apprehend these people.
Here's what we do. The White House and the Senate have their own television hookup. We can break in, and we would just not be talking. What we would be doing is have the list on. Look at this and start from the top to the bottom and say, "Now, people, we're not that. We're not what they're calling us." And
we would have to have we would have to have our own PR.
Right, and the money. Where does the money go? Trillions of dollars Obama spent. Where did it go?
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't done anything for the roads. It hasn't done anything. Where'd they go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of money in his 6 years. He spent more money in 6 years than all the presidents before him.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that money go? I don't know. But people see that, and you tell them, because you're on all the stations, all the cable, you're on everything. And I'm telling you, people will wake up. I believe in the people. I believe in the people tremendously. You got go back to the revolution. We were outnumbered, outgunned, and it was all over taxes. And people
taxes and freedom. Okay,
freedom.
it was
Absolutely.
Now put in mind now you probably didn't catch this, but we've actually mentioned this a couple times recently. Okay, the tax burden of the average colonist was somewhere around 4% total tax burden. Okay, right now for the average American, it's over 50%.
Right.
If you take all the taxes, state, local, federal, regulations, fees, licenses, all that shit, and consider them a tax, which they are. Not to mention inflation and stuff like that, and the devaluation of the dollar. I'm not even including that. It's well over 50%. Then I said, well, but the colonists, they had to worry about the police kicking down their door and going and apprehending them without any kind of charge or trial. Oh, kind of like we have right now. The police can come and kick down your door. They can take you. They can black bag you. Fuck! They found that place, the CIA black house in Chicago, where they were black bagging people and they were disappearing. Okay, and they were getting tortured. Okay, so and it was funny because Michelle had been on, and it really got under my skin when she said people aren't uncomfortable enough, and I said bull fucking shit. People are too lazy. People are too apathetic. Don't tell me they're not comfortable enough.
No,
People
I
are
agree.
way
I
more
agree with you.
uncomfortable than they ever have been in this country. Okay, because they have less freedom. They
Right.
have less economic freedom. They have less personal freedom. Okay, they're at the
Mhm.
most uncomfortable point in this country's history, and we fucking
Right.
sit and watch Dancing with the Stars.
Do you think
And
it's laziness, or do some people just not really know how to act or do something about it
I, I,
sometimes?
I think it's a combination of fear, apathy, and complete and utter willful ignorance. Because in the age of information, to be ignorant is a choice.
but here's another thing I'll add to that. Most people don't watch cable news,
True.
right? Or different news. They just like old
Alternative.
Uncle Walter. They all watched him, or Huntley and Brinkley and whoever queer was on ABC. But they don't get the news. They don't think it's not the lead story who won Dancing with the Stars. Are you kidding?
It's
Go ahead, Bree.
very censored here.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally censored.
Yeah.
um, it's
That's right.
the,
And how about Monsanto? We played tapes. I don't know if you heard this tape. A Fox in Florida, local Fox News in Florida, hired 4 people to dig in and be, because they're good reporters and investigators. Well, they went after the milk, Monsanto, and uh, they found out what Monsanto was putting in the milk we drink,
uh-huh.
and boy, I'll tell you what, hell broke out there. They were going to play it, and Monsanto had to see it, so they sent a copy, and they sent a letter to Rupert and said, if you play this, I will pull all our advertising from your station.
Yeah.
Uh, and and so here's what happened. They had a meeting with the 4 reporters and said, we want you to be going to a different story. We're not going to do this, and you got to sign this that you will never talk about it, or you're going to be fired. Well, they all got fired because they weren't going to sign it. This man, one of the reporters said, I've got a little girl goes to this school, and then they were in front of the school. She drinks milk for lunch every day. And they don't want me to tell the parents. They don't want me to say a word. Are they out of their mind? And so they all got fired because they would not shut their mouth. I got that tape.
Mm-hmm.
And you think people don't, they don't either. Everybody's got an agenda. They say you don't like Obama because he's black. Now I went to the truck plant for the first time a week ago Saturday. Let me tell you, it's a union plant. Black people, white people, they loved Obama when he was running.
Now
They
they hate
drank
him.
the Kool-Aid. Okay, but it ain't like that no more, brother. And yeah, I was shocked. I knew some of them changed, but the more because they download the show and they do their own searching. They know where to go to search now,
Yeah.
and they start looking into things. And like we always say, and you said the same thing. You don't believe us? you know, do
Yeah.
your own research for God's sakes.
Oh, I did. I
And
did. I
I'm
did that
telling
just. I did that just yesterday or today. It was somebody that was. Somebody had posted something about.
you,
If you don't like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, then you should get out of the country. And I was like, look, I would never stand for the Pledge of Allegiance again because it was written by a socialist and it was intended and it has been used to indoctrinate people into pledging their allegiance to the federal government. To the flag for which it stands, which is the federal government. Okay? And I flat out I said, if you don't believe me, do your own research. Okay? Or if you disagree with me, do your own research. I said, if you continue to disagree with me, then I guess the indoctrination is working. Okay? I am no
yeah,
longer, I mean, I used to be a little bit, I used to try to hold people's hands and try to work, say, hey, look, well, why don't you do this research? Why don't you, here's where you can find this. And, no, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck
EJ,
you.
I don't remember you ever holding somebody's hands
Well, I used to do it more
and
than I do it
walk up
now.
to.
But
Bree, I'm sure. I don't know how long Bree has known you, talked to you, but let me tell you, Bree's lying. He's lying right now. Okay, he hasn't held nobody's hand to. It'll be like more like you stupid blah 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 blah. I'm telling you, if you're too lazy, and that was your word back then, too lazy to look it up, well then there's no help for you.
yeah, well, you get what you
And
deserve. It's um, eh,
Well,
but
people
anyway,
typically believe things only because they want to believe them. They don't want that,
well, it's
you
it's
know,
like it's like
their beliefs.
it's like what we were saying. It's actually one of my favorite
I
terms. It's cognitive
I
dissonance. If you
Yeah.
I think it's I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat. It's like a football game. One side says something, the other says something. Two people talk in the workplace. You just don't know what you're talking about. And when you win that election, see, I told you, man. I told you, the people. It's like a sporting event anymore. Back when you look at the old tapes when they had the delegations showing up at in Chicago or wherever they were, and the smoke filled room. I mean, this auditoriums and people holding up signs. Uh, that was pretty damn close to the last time we had any kind of freedom because people were screaming, fighting in the aisles. Uh, they 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 were passionate. They were passionate. There's not a passionate person out. These dummies aren't passionate about what's going on in this country. And I told Joe, a former co-worker, I said, listen, just because you got a damn job, just because you think it's going good for you, you got to look outside the box and look at what's going on in our country,
mhm.
not your damn job.
Well, let me tell you
Right.
something. This is something I wanted to bring up, and then you realize that we're gonna have to call it a night because we've been on air for 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Well, that's a record.
We've been on air for a while, and I need to go have a smoke because I'm a bad boy. Um,
Well, I just lit
Nah.
two.
yeah,
One
I
for
know,
you and
but
one for me.
yeah, but see, I don't smoke in the house. I shouldn't be
Oh,
smoking
that's
at
too
all. But
bad.
you realize I hit the big 4-3 yesterday.
What?
Yeah, hit the
The
big
43 spankings. I owe
it's
you
40. Yes,
43.
yes, Bree, you owe me 43 spankings.
Pull his hair on his butthole.
Yeah,
Gravy.
no, don't
Thank
pull
you.
the hair on my butthole. That's no fun. No, I
Oh,
don't.
EJ, I'm 17 years older than you are, and I relate with you. You are you're a hell of a guy. You hooked up with, I don't know how that happened, but I remember when you didn't join the show, but you came on to, on Blog Talk. I believe it was Blog Talk. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Blog Talk. And I said, damn, that girl knows what she's talking about, and she can put up with EJ. And that is amazing, because and how at 43, holy crap.
Yeah.
Cinnamon's only a year older than you.
Holy
That's
crap.
amazing.
Man, you're a cradle robber. So anyway, let me tell you exactly why.
Well, I don't want to. I really don't want to hear it. But no, go ahead.
Oh, shut up. Let me tell you why why we can't have freedom. Why we can't have liberty and we can't have freedom.
We will.
Let me tell you why we can't. Why it never lasts. Why it would never last. Okay?
Go ahead.
Why nothing ever lasts. Nothing, no system ever lasts as it's
That's
supposed
true.
to. Okay? I'm not going to sit there and say, well, socialism works. No, it doesn't work because there's a human condition.
God.
Human condition
Social.
screws up everything. That's the biggest problem is people. So this is from an article from Como, from my former neck of the woods out in Washington State. Pierce County, Washington. The Federal Aviation Administration has launched an investigation after a helicopter crew spotted a drone flying just a few feet above Como's Air 4. Air 4 was covering a fire. That's a helicopter. Air 4 was covering a fire in Pierce County Monday when the incident happened. The FAA is now trying to figure out who was behind the controls of the drone, which landed in a grassy field. A man picked it up and walked to a nearby house. The worst possible case is it could cause a complete loss of control for the helicopter and be a fatal accident, said aviation expert John Nance. Drone use has exploded in recent years. The number of collisions involving drones has gone up, according to the FAA. An average of 25 incidents are reported every month involving drones that are flying too close to commercial aircraft, an FAA spokesman said. Federal investigators are now trying to figure out if the drone involved on Monday's incident violated any guidelines. Drones can not be flown above 400 feet and must stay clear of manned aircraft. Well, this is all just fucking common sense, is it not? Don't fly a drone too close to like maybe a helicopter with spinning rotors going right. Don't fly a fucking drone up above it. Okay.
Exactly.
Don't put a drone up and say I want to take a picture of this big jetliner that's approaching. I want to get that view of his. Oh, now it crashed and I killed 250 people. This is.
Should a little drone be able to take down an aircraft? I mean.
Oh yeah, well a drone could take down an aircraft. I mean, put it this way: birds can take down an aircraft.
Birds took down the Heroes plane that he, landed. Very good pilot landed it in
the Hudson.
The Hudson.
Yeah.
It was birds.
Yeah, birds take down planes. So I mean, you can guarantee a drone in an engine or something.
Canada geese.
Yeah, it's those damn Canadian geese. That's what it is. Canadians. Ah.
No, they're Canada geese now.
Yes, they
they're
are.
Not Canadian geese.
Yes, I know they're Canada. I call them Canadian because I break the rules. But this is why we can't. This is why we can't have anything because people are goddamn morons. Okay, this is why nothing is good in the world is because of stupid people.
Right.
Okay, because this is just common sense. I would not fly a drone up by a helicopter for fear of it could crash the helicopter.
Right. Of course you wouldn't.
Okay, unless it was like a helicopter that contained somebody I didn't like, and I didn't think it was going to crash into somebody's house that didn't deserve it. Now if I could time it great, I could crash a helicopter that was being flown or had a passenger that I didn't like in it onto the house of somebody. I don't know. Let's say it was a White House. Okay.
like Ron Brown, remember the stream Ron
Oh,
Brown?
you broke up.
Evil.
You broke up.
Uh,
Breaking up.
oh, how
Repeat.
about now?
Yep, good.
What about a kite?
Repeat.
Couldn't a kite take down, do some kites fly as high as drones do? I'm sure they do. I mean,
Yeah, but kites. I
not,
don't think a kite can really do much damage. I mean, a
No,
kite
I don't think
a
so.
kite really couldn't do too
those
much
box
damage.
kites.
It still couldn't do too much
No,
damage. I mean, they're made of
no.
they're made of. Why are you trying to even trying to figure this out? You twisted woman, you.
I'm just having fun.
So anyway,
You remember Ron Brown
Ron Brown.
in the
No,
Clinton administration?
no. Refresh
No.
my memory.
I want you to look his name up. They oh God, well, he was the head of a department for Clinton. He was on a plane coming back and it crashed, but he was alive. No, he was dead. Excuse me, he was dead, and found out after an autopsy in this other country, because we would have never known. He had a bullet hole in the top of his head, and he had information. He had just like oh good, who's the guy that came from Whitewater in Arkansas to the White House?
I can't remember
And
his name off the top of my head, but
my goodness, and they raided his Hillary had it, the people raid his office and take everything out of his safe that had anything to do with Whitewater, because he knew all the scabs, and they moved his body. They did this, and there was witnesses that there was two men, but it's the same thing. If you know too much, you boom, you're dead. These people are.
well, let me tell you what I started thinking about doing, and once I throw it out there, it's out there, and um, I came up with a concept a couple days ago, and I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I was like, I know that they've done soil samples and found that there's all over the world. I mean, they've done soil samples. They've tested soil samples for like, you know, increased heavy metal content like aluminum, barium, strontium, stuff like that, and they found that these levels are increasing worldwide. And it
Right.
is believed that is due to chemtrails. And there is and if you disagree with chemtrails, you're either too young, because if you're too young and this is what you've grown up seeing in the sky, then I can't really tell you that I can understand how you could say, okay, well, it's contrails because this is what I'm told. But I can tell you for
Mm,
anybody who's 30, probably 35 and older, maybe a little older than that, we know because we used to
right.
look up in the skies and they didn't exist. Never existed. And there is a difference between a contrail and a chemtrail. There's an absolute difference. I can get into this. Maybe on the show on Saturday we'll get into this. But we know for a fact
Hmm.
they're spraying stuff in the atmosphere. There's not a doubt about it. We don't know what it is. Now you can say from
Well,
soil samples.
let me tell you something. And I'm going to interrupt you, damn it, right now.
Okay,
Sorry,
hurry up because I want to
I
go and have a cigarette.
oh,
Okay,
shut
so
up.
hurry up.
You got hair now. I'm not used to you having hair. Okay. A Swedish official admits
All right.
toxic.
That will be. Hold on. That will be on Saturday's show. I have already actually addressed that before. He's from the Green Party of Sweden, and he actually admitted. Yeah, and you're right. He admitted that there are heavy metals that is being sprayed with heavy metals, viruses, and other toxins, okay, and other poisons. And they said he
Exactly.
said it's a joint. Now he's from Sweden. He said it's a joint operation between the Swedish government, the CIA, and the NSA. Okay, but that's still
And
just that's now hold on a second.
he,
Hold
Well,
on.
you forgot one thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Uh, chemtrails are real, not a wild conspiracy theory like we were accused of so many times. Now, how many times did I tell you a long time ago, EJ, when you were with Bear, what, 4 or 5 years ago? I told you, look into this. I don't want to do it. Yeah. I'll do it.
What are
And
you
I'll
talking about?
ask you the
What
next.
are you talking about? I've known about this for a long time.
Well, yeah, but when I told you about it, and I told you where to go to get some information, I'll do that.
You know what? Screw
And you
you, old
never
man.
did.
Screw you, old man, because
But
I've known
I'm just
about this for a
telling you,
long time.
I've been
Would you
on.
shut up already?
I've been
Because
on.
I've actually.
I'm on top of it,
Okay,
baby.
hold on a
I'm
second.
on top
Because
of it.
because I can tell you. Okay, I've been talking about this for years. Now you were probably talking about it beforehand, but I've been talking about it for years. And how do I know this?
Yeah.
Because I remember I was driving from Pennsylvania through New Jersey. Okay, and this was years ago. And my wife was in the car and she goes, "Holy shit, that's a chemtrail." Because I had been telling her about it and she didn't really believe me. She was like, "Okay, yeah. Okay." But then she
You,
saw it for herself and she goes, "Holy shit, that's a chemtrail. It just started, like it just turned on." And then she watched it and she goes, "Oh my God, it just turned off." I said, "Yep, that's a chemtrail." Okay, now this was
and you,
years ago. So I've known about this
right,
for years.
right.
Okay?
4 years ago. Yeah.
You know what? Suck my dick. Okay?
Hey, did you say, and my friend Donnie C that knows
You know
more
what?
about
I
anything
am
than you?
actually not one that you can accuse of for not giving credit. I give credit when credit is due, and I actually just did,
Oh,
you dickhead. I just said to you that you were probably before me. Okay?
not probably, brother.
Fine.
Not probably.
You were on it before me, okay? You were on the chemtrail
Hey,
thing.
guess what?
Okay?
I broke this story Saturday night, and you're gonna break it this Saturday, and let's have a good discussion on it, because
Well,
that's
I'm not
something
gonna
you need
break
to
it this
get out.
Saturday. I'm not gonna break it because that
You're
article's
gonna
been
talk
around
about
since.
it, though.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it,
You're
but
gonna talk about it.
yeah, but this
That's what I
article's been
need.
out since last week, sometime. But
I know. I already just said it on
eh,
air, but
go fuck yourself.
it took
So
my
anyway,
show off.
shut up, shut up. So listen to me, okay?
I love
You
it.
two need to behave yourselves.
So anyway, so here's what I thought about doing. Now I know that
Yeah.
this came out because tell you the truth, somebody actually posted this on my Facebook page after I had made this suggestion. I said I was thinking
Right.
about maybe trying to like get together funds. Somebody that I'm friends with had suggested doing a GoFundMe page in which I would try to gather up enough money to hire pilots at different places in the country to go up and actually get in the stream of these things and test the air itself, not the soil, but get in one of these chemtrails and actually sample the air, bring it to an independent lab and
Hmm.
test it, and then go
Hmm.
out and report on the results. Now my wife said
Right.
initially, jokingly, she said, "Well, if you do so, just make sure you let me know because I'm going to get out a good insurance policy on you, good life insurance policy on you." And then I started talking more about doing it, and she actually really was saying she was like, "I don't want you to do this." She said, "Because I'm not kidding." She said, "I know I was joking about it when you were talking about it, but I'm not kidding. I really think you'll be putting yourself in harm's way. You'll be putting your children in harm's way." And she said, "Are you doing this for
Good
selfish
point.
reasons?" I said, "I'm not doing it for selfish reasons." She said, "You have to think
No.
about our kids. Your own children, you have to think about it." I said, "Look, don't you understand that every time I look up in the sky and I see these goddamn things in the sky, littering the sky, I don't feel as though I'm failing as a parent because I'm not protecting my kids. You know, I said, I said to her, I was like,
Good point.
and this is how I feel. Every time I see those
Good
goddamn
point.
things up there, I feel helpless. Because I can't do anything about it. They're way up in the air. And I
Right.
know that they're
Right.
spraying things that are no good for my children to breathe in, long term.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
And ingest because you're drinking the water because it's falling in the water. It's falling on crop fields. You're breathing it in. You're getting it in various
That's
ways
right.
inside of your system. So, and I said, if I do nothing, they kill my kids anyway.
You got a good point. I can't argue with you. Now there's one thing. There's a lady, and she was the head of the forestry in a certain part of California, and she she checked on the trees, make sure the whatever those bugs are that kill tree. And she went out there all the time, and she said, she doesn't go out there. And 4 months later, and I haven't seen a tape in a long time. She said they were dying. These beautiful trees they were all dying. So she personally took soil samples, and she said what was in that soil was blowing my mind. She's an older lady. She didn't say blowing my mind, but she she was, where did that come from? And she didn't know. She didn't know where that was coming from. So she went back out and took different samples all over the place in her area where, and she said it's all over. It
Mm-hmm.
was in all the samples she took.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go, and if these morons would go to check on that, there's also a weatherman, more than one. There's two or three out in the West Coast that are doing the weather, and says this cloud cover you see isn't clouds. That's showing you know how you got those maps and whatever, and that's chemtrails. And how do I know? I was in the Air Force, and I know they're spraying barium. He comes out and says it. Uh, that is called chemtrails, not
Mm-hmm.
anything else. And he didn't say it was any good or anything like that, but he did come. There's two or three of them, but watch that lady, because that lady even takes you to the lab, if I remember correctly.
Now,
It,
now, now, I was
it's
watching.
amazing.
I was watching something with a friend of mine on Facebook. Well, not with it had her in it, and she was actually in the Air Force as well for 9 years, and uh, she was an environmental. Um, she dealt with something
Oh,
environmental
really?
ramifications. Yes, that's what she dealt with in the Air Force. And she was basically kicked out of the Air Force because she started asking questions about this. She had actually initially started asking questions. They basically told her shut up. She did shut up. Then about a year and a half or so later, she started asking questions again, and they told her, you're done. So now she's actually quite vocal about it, and she's saying yes, there are chemtrails, and she was in the Air Force, and she knows this, and it's you know look up what is it, Operation Indigo Skyfold.
Yeah.
That's supposedly what the Air Force pilots refer to this as. Um, so yeah, we can get into this on Saturday. Um,
And what time are you on? 7?
we should be on at 7. I mean, I'm trying to figure out a time because, I mean, we don't want to cut into your show, because you took our old slot time.
Yeah, because I want to go to your show. Uh, so yeah, we can't have the same times, because now that I know where to find you.
The only problem with me is 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock is tough for me because my kids are running around.
Oh, absolutely,
You
I know
know,
that.
and that's tough for me. 7 o'clock is definitely a tough time for me. Um, Yo.
maybe I can talk Bob into doing our show earlier then. Um, I can't say it over there. I'll talk to you personally. And it's
Okay.
not because of you, Bree. I don't want anybody else hearing what I got to say. Uh,
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could talk. We could talk about it. Well,
yeah,
you said
I
you
don't
said
have
like
no
Friday.
secrets from Bree either.
Yeah, Bree, you can't trust Bree. She'll start. You know,
I'm very
Yeah, well,
frustrated.
Bree's vagina is like the Roach Motel, but her brain is not. You know. Okay, things
that's
go
true.
in and they come
Okay,
out. So.
again, that was a bad analogy.
You know.
Well, I gotta
Saying
ask
that.
something. I gotta ask Bree. Bree, I gotta ask you a question.
Okay.
I gotta. You got a little landing strip there, or or you a bald eagle? What are we?
Or are you a big old jungle like a '70s
Well,
girl?
I did.
I like landing strips.
All right.
Oh,
They,
God.
Notice Donnie doesn't even say anything. Donnie just goes. I
Oh,
have to go to the
God.
bathroom.
Again. Oh my gosh.
All
Thank
right.
you, Bree. No, I trust Bree,
good
but
night, boys.
you're on the internet. You're on the internet. I mean, on YouTube, and I don't want somebody to accidentally find a show and listen to what I gotta say.
Well, I'm trying to get Bree to get a friggin' camera working so I can have her on the air because people want
God,
to.
what did you make me do?
Well, people want to see you more than they want to see me, and
Well,
especially
I
if
think they actually
That's all
want to see you.
and if you talk about your landing strip, they're definitely going to want to tune in visually.
well,
So
the only reason I came to the show is because EJ and Bree.
yeah, actually, it was just
I
because of
mean,
Bray. You don't give a shit about me. I understand
what? I hell no.
that. I don't
Well,
blame you.
but I'll tell you what. I will call you. You never answer my phone calls, but you do return them. I got to get these lights done in the kitchen, but I'll call you this week because I'd like to know how you do this,
All right.
and maybe you can walk me through it.
Absolutely.
And hey, are you and Bree doing a show every Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Probably for a few more weeks.
Usually it's a week.
Yeah. Pete's son was actually invited for free to do this baseball, like baseball training camp. Like his son is really good at baseball, and
Mhm.
and like it's got like professional trainers. Like
Oh
people
yeah. I
people
know
pay
what you're
like
talking.
thousands of dollars to do this, and his son was basically got a scholarship kind of to do it. For free, so he couldn't pass it up. But that happens on Wednesday nights until the end of
That's
March.
cool.
So Bree's
And,
helping
and,
out.
and I'm, well, good. That's awesome. And I want you to know, back when I was a kitty, the Kansas City A's invited me out to a tryout, and
And you realized
well,
baseball
yeah.
was not really a sport like hockey was, and you didn't want to be a pussy, so
Oh
you
no!
decided
Well,
to go
hold
into
on.
radio.
I want you to go back, and I'll throw you a fastball. But I was a catcher, so.
Wait a
So
second.
I was,
Oh boy, you open up too much for me to work on later. I'm calling it a night,
hold on.
Cupcake.
Yeah, I said too much. Bree, it was nice talking to you, and you do. I'm sorry I kind of talked too much tonight.
Oh, you didn't. I was enjoying the conversation.
She was just
Wait.
it gave her
I was
time.
learning.
It
I'm
gave
being
her
a quiet observer.
what it did is it gave Bree time to manicure her to take care of her landing strip.
Oh, I'm gonna go land a plane right about now.
That's way too much talk about my.
But it's okay to refer to it as the Roach Motel. So anyway, all right, people.
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
not keeping that down, am I?
No, absolutely not.
And AJ, give me a heads up on what time your show is on Saturday.
All right.
If
Well,
you don't know when
We'll
I call
talk.
you.
We'll talk about it on Friday then.
Okay, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
Night,
Bye,
night.
Bree. Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Night.